Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Bisportuals, your new favorite sports podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Kyle.
Hey, guys.
What's
up?
What the fuck?
We're in person. I am back from the dreaded territory of the New York Liberty. I have returned to give the links, the info that I have gathered now that the star of the New York Liberty is injured for like 5 weeks with an ankle sprain.
Yes.
Which means that the Minnesota Lynx are going to go. They're on pace to go 40-4, and they're going to go 42-2.
Yep.
Realistically, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's conservative. I could see them going 43-1, but that might be pushing a little bit. I'll stick with my 42-2.
Yep.
Thank you very much. But we're here in person. I'm back in town, so we have a live episode, all of us here together. I'm very excited to dive in. We've got some fun stuff planned for today. We're going to talk about the NBA Finals, which have just wrapped up. We're going to talk about the mess that is the NBA trade atmosphere right now. The draft hasn't even happened yet as of recording, and shit's already fucked. Like, bad.
Shit's already, fucked. Bad.
Dude, that's so true.
That's
so true. I'm so proud of you for coming up with that.
Shit's so fucked,
It's
dude.
fucked. Like, bad.
Bad.
And finally, we are going to head into our next week of predictions weeks, which is the NFC East. I forgot what division it was this week. It is the NFC East. We'll be talking about the Cowboys, America's team, the Eagles, the up-and-coming Commanders, and also the New Jersey Giants.
The New Jersey Fighting Football Giants.
The New Jersey Fighting Football Giants. My bad. Gotta say the full legal name, the full government for the New Jersey Fighting Football Giants.
Yes.
We'll be talking about all of those teams later in the episode. But first, that's right, we have a caller in this week. Remember, you can call in at memo.fm/Bisportuals. That's memo.fm/Bisportuals. If you have a take you want to be heard, if you have a question you want to ask us, or if you just want to let us know that maybe you don't like Cameron's shirt today. Maybe the color isn't suiting him. I think it is, but maybe they think that. I think it's a beautiful color.
We need to draw a line here. This shirt rocks.
This shirt fucks. This
the
is
Big Steppers tour.
Yeah.
I got some big steppers. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's for the paywall. We put that behind the paywall. You can't get that shit for free. God.
I cannot wait to be the first person to enter your wiki feed with that photo.
This is going straight on. What do you think is Cameron's wiki feet rating?
It is a solid 2.4.
Oh,
Is that out of 5 or 10?
It's out of 5.
It's out of 5.
It's out of 5.
Okay, good.
It's out of
Slightly
5. You guys
below
You
Yeah,
have
so-
work to do.
you got progress. There's progress to be made.
Yes.
I'm glad to know that you guys have both been on wikifeed.com and have looked at the rating system.
Okay, for the record, no. Search my history.
That's a
Search
got.
it.
No,
I
we
promise.
got, brother. But first, let's go ahead. Let's listen in to our caller this week.
Hey, first time caller, old man listener. I got 2 questions for you tonight. First off, today was the finalization of the new leadership for the Lynx and the Timberwolves. I just want to know what you guys think is going to be the impact of this new leadership. That's question number 1. Question number 2, maybe the more important of the 2 questions, which one of you has the best facial hair? Discuss.
Thank you, caller, for calling in. Very insightful and important questions. Let's start with the easy one, and then we'll get to the tough one. So the sale of Lynx and the Timberwolves did go down today as of Tuesday, June 24th.
Unanimous.
The Board of Governors was like, Glenn Taylor, bye, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
And all Timberwolves fans and Lynx fans did the exact same thing.
Yep. Now we can finally... I think the most important consequence of this is going to be we are going to finally retire KG's jersey.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
get KG back into the organization. And
Next season, 100%.
They need to, you know how they have the media sections on the side of the court where it's everybody goes and says KG's going to have his own section right next to that.
Yeah.
Where it's just no one can enter a 15-foot range of him.
It's just Kevin Garnett.
Just Kevin Garnett.
And it should
just lifetime season ticket.
It should be.
Yeah.
I mean, he is, as of current, the best Timberwolf of all time.
Yep.
I think the fact that he hasn't been involved purely just because Glenn Taylor is a shitty fucking owner is devastating for the Timberwolves and their just general culture.
Yeah.
I think this will be really good. I don't know how it impacts their spending necessarily, if it changes how they approach.
Look, I was reading an article today
Mhm.
from our glorious king, John Kay. Shout out John Kay.
Shout out John Kay.
And in there, it talks about a valuation of Mark Laurier's new business, which was called Wonder, and the valuation was at $7 billion. So I know that's not all Mark Laurier. He doesn't get all that money, but if that's the funding that we have, not the fucking Star Tribune, we're gonna have a better chance to spend a little bit more money. I think again, we have two young guys that actually have a brain that works. No offense to Glenn Taylor, but it's fucking Glenn Taylor.
Offense to Glenn Taylor.
Offense to Glenn Taylor. So now that they actually have brains that work, they can see what is in front of them, which is a championship window. And as long as they can act on it, spend the money right now, make it happen when you have a young superstar who hasn't hit his peak yet and talent around him, make it work. Like, I think that's going to be a really critical part of this new ownership. The other one that I don't believe I've said on the podcast yet is the stadium. We need a new stadium. I don't care if they tear Target Center down and rebuild it, from the ground up. I don't care if they move to the Graco lot in Northwood, Minneapolis, and make it a Wolves Den.
There's like a city center lot or something.
Yeah, that's the Graco lot. Like, they can make that.
That's not.
Wait, what?
There's a different one.
Oh, you're talking. Okay. Well, I thought the Graco one, like their headquarters there, they could basically tear that down, build a new stadium, still use Target Center for a few more years while they build. I saw some fans call it like the Wolves Den.
That'd be sick.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah,
you can
there's
make it like a
another
little
one that they're
area.
looking at. That's
They're gonna have
downtown.
They're gonna have to
That's
sell
the
naming
thing.
rights to
Yeah.
it, but
That's the tough part, is going to be the infrastructure, because where Target Center is,
it's such a good location
so
to be next
good.
to Target Field,
yeah,
and
you have those 3 big parking ramps all together. You're not too far away from bus stops or train
Skyway
stations.
fucking
Yeah.
rocks.
Skyway
Yeah,
rocks.
you're right with the trains. Like, it works where it is right now. So that's where I'm not opposed to tear down if they can expand at all and make more space. It's just too small.
Yeah.
It's just too small for the current NBA.
The one, I think it would be kind of, I don't know what their alternative would be if they were to tear it down. Like, where do you go? Do you go to the barn? Because the
only other
Timberwolves should
basketball
not play.
stadium.
Like, the Vikings played at TCF, but
They could potentially go to U.S. Bank.
the
That would
Final
be really tough.
the
They could
Final
go to
Four
XL.
was in Bank, but it overlap. The seasons overlap.
Yeah.
It'd be a really quick turnaround.
I
They
think-
could go to XL.
Yeah, they could go to XL.
'Cause I don't-
Because the old... God, what was the old stadium that the Wild played in?
I don't remember.
Or did the Wolves play in it? No, because it was Target Center. I felt like there was a stadium in Minnesota that did it before, where it was like hockey and basketball.
I don't remember.
And maybe it used to be at Target Center before XL, because XL is relatively new compared to Target Center.
Mm.
But Minnesota's done it before, where hockey and basketball are in the same arena. So I feel like we could make it work with XL. It's a bigger stadium for now. It'll get the fans acclimated to a bigger stadium if we were to build a bigger one.
There are the United Center in Chicago is home to both the Blackhawks and the Bulls.
Yep. So it's possible.
It is doable.
Yeah.
It's just they got to set up the infrastructure to do it.
Yeah.
So I think the stadium and getting KG involved are the two big things. What do you think, Cameron?
I think that Glenn Taylor smells like socks, and one time he tried to kiss me on the lips.
Really?
That's not cool, Glenn.
Really? This is breaking news.
Yeah, it made
John
me
can't get on
feel.
this.
It made me feel very uncomfortable. And I was like, "Mr. Taylor, you smell like socks."
So did he have to pull you down, or did he get on like a little stool and get up
Yeah,
to
what are
try
the
to kiss you?
logistics?
He
Logistically,
wears heels because he wants to look taller.
Oh, he's got platforms
Of
on.
course,
He's
like-
got platforms.
Yeah, I thought that was like we knew
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, this is a breaking story. John Kay, Star Tribune, Shams Charania. I think you could all kind of get on this and be the first to break. So
Alex Rodriguez and Mark Flora have yet to try and kiss me.
True.
And I would also be more willing.
more receptive to
Oh, yeah.
A-Rod and Mark Lurie.
I feel like they don't smell like socks, and that's kind of a big thing for me.
They probably don't. That's a big turnoff for you, not smelling like socks.
Yeah, you know what?
Would you
It's
consider
just
them ick?
I just kind of start thinking about socks.
I mean, if they smell like socks, yeah, that would lead you
Yeah.
to think about socks. You know, for some people, that's like Kyle, that's a turn on.
No.
Well,
But
None
for
of this is
Kyle,
true. None of this is
it really
don't
gets
act
him going.
like you also weren't on WikiFeed.
Yeah, you can't
Huh?
deflect
What?
right now.
Huh?
You
Don't just. Put
I
this
don't
on
even
me.
know what you're talking about. I'm a goldfish. I just move on, man.
Yeah.
I'd be the best quarterback because I forget all of the interceptions I throw.
Yeah.
And then I throw another one.
Exactly.
And I'm the coach's quarterback, dude.
James
I never
Winston
get my own head.
2.0.
Truly, except instead of 30 touchdowns and 30 picks, it's 0 touchdowns and 30 picks.
And instead of black, you'd be a cracker.
That would be.
Objectively, that is correct.
That would be a pretty core difference. I would not be black. I probably also wouldn't play in New
Significantly
Orleans.
less aura.
Yeah,
I'm
way
sorry.
less.
But
I don't eat Dubs. I never could. Jameis Winston, that's kind of his thing, eating Dubs, and so I mean, more power to him. But that's just not my ballpark. That's not where I make my money. That's not my stance. But thank you again for calling in.
There's another question.
Shit! There is a more important question.
Yeah, this is the tougher one.
Which, of course,
we have to
is
spend more time.
who among us has the best facial hair?
You said Among Us.
I did.
Okay.
Great. See what you did, Cameron?
Alright. So I think we can agree that I have.
See, here's because this question, it's a complicated question. It's a complex question because it can be broken down so many different ways.
Yes.
You have the potential of variety. Mm-hmm. I could go a lot of different ways. Yeah. I could go, for those of you that saw me for a short period of time 2 years ago, I can go full lumberjack with a very large beard. It can be done. But I can also go this. This is probably around 6-7 millimeters. Mm-hmm. That wasn't intentional. That was not intentional. But
you're so funny, dude.
That was I'm dead ass. That was not intentional.
6, 7.
You've been in New York for 4 months. Dead ass.
Kyle, I think Kyle is he's a little locked into what it is.
I'm simple.
But it's effective. It's clean. Mm-hmm. It's precise. And it knows what it's about. It's not confused about what it could be.
I don't play out of my ballpark. Like I'm
you
in
know
my
you're
lane.
right.
I know my role. No, you can say I'm almost a role player.
You're a peak role player. Yeah. Your mustache is a peak role player.
Yeah.
And then
I full shave every 3 days because I can't grow it not patchy.
Yeah.
Well, I think in American society, we're so bombarded by choices. Yeah. It's like, what can we do?
No, we had this talk earlier. We're not going down this rabbit hole right now. We need choice. I have chosen this. Mm-hmm. Cameron has chosen this. This whole thing right here for the video listeners. He chose all of that.
Yeah. It was an active choice. He's been under the knife a lot. Yes. He's had a lot of surgery. I think, honestly, Cameron, with all the surgeries you've had, I think 20% more and you'll be done.
I've dropped 43 bands already.
So why didn't you pick my?
And that was just the new teeth.
Yeah. The veneers?
Yeah. No. The full. You got. Remember, you started with the veneers, and then you
get the Botox?
Of course, I remember. I got the work done.
Yes, but you got your teeth fully removed.
I did get a small nitrous addiction from all the surgery, and so I have forgotten a lot. But I do remember I got the full teeth set. Mm-hmm. My nose cost me $15,000, but there's a vape inside it.
Oh hell yes!
Well, because you were full Voldemort.
Yeah,
you were full Voldemort.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I lost it in a fishing accident.
Yeah, the hook got right up there, and just kept. Oh no,
no.
Explain.
I was there.
Okay.
So the fish, he caught the fish on the hook, and then as it was flying back, the fish jumped off the hook and jumped onto his nose, and then bit it off.
Oh wow!
And then I attempted to grab the fish and get the nose out of his mouth, and the fish said "fuck me," like literally
it spoke to you.
It spoke
it not
to
only
me
spoke to him, but then it grew arms and legs and started doing.
Oh shit!
Like we literally witnessed evolution.
It hit the Gangnam Style.
Yeah.
Yes.
This fish was from 2012.
Yes.
This
fully
fish
evolved.
This fish is Psy.
Yes.
This is Psy from Gangnam Style.
I just
fully
hope
evolved
you can
in front of
understand
us.
why I wanted to get a nose job.
Yeah.
No, I think
It was.
And I respect it.
It was surprisingly dark, but also surprisingly beautiful.
Yeah,
like
in that moment,
it was a full circle moment, just like Cameron's facial hair.
That's beautiful.
It's very full circle because he chose this, and a stubble works. I want to give you that credit, but to answer the question right now, I think that I have maybe the lowest.
You're the most
floor.
Defined.
Yeah,
I think.
I have the lowest
Ryan
floor,
has
but my
most
floor is also
potential.
my ceiling.
You have the highest floor.
Yes,
you have the highest floor.
That's what I meant.
Highest floor.
Also lowest ceiling because the ceiling is the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it's like
depending
on the angles of things. Yeah. But like for you, it's like you have such a wide range that technically you cover more bases.
Yeah.
Which like in an MVP conversation, you would be to quality candy.
It's a jack of all trades kind of thing, because sometimes you come out with a great lineup, a great cut, but sometimes you have a goatee.
Yeah.
And like that is technically a potential for me to have a goatee. I'd sooner walk into traffic than voluntarily have a goatee. Yeah. But I mean, technically, it is a possibility, and we have to take that into consideration. Right. It has to be addressed.
So I think the true answer is you. That you have the best facial hair. I think that I have.
I'm going with Cameron. I'm going with Cameron.
I think regardless, you guys are facial hair fucking, and I'm in the corner jerking off.
You're in the corner dancing on your own.
That's not where I thought you were going.
You guys are facial hair.
I thought you were going a reference to the Robin song, not you being masturbatory in the corner. Which
I was saying you guys are kind of clucking me with your facial hair.
Yeah.
You're getting cut. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Our facial hair is so
to be fair, I'm going to be totally honest. Out of the 3 seats here, I'm the one in the cuck chair.
Yeah, we're matching.
You guys are in the chair, and I'm in the cuck chair because I could just sit back and watch my partner have sex with another person.
But you can also be ridden in that chair.
Could. That's a very good point.
It's a versatile.
It's the purpose. It's the purpose. It's the placement. Yeah. You're all familiar with the hotel cuck chair.
Yes.
The hotel cuck chair.
I love the executive cuck chair. I gotta say, like I saw one where it was like the bed is over here. There's a desk laying this way, and the chair is facing the bed like that. So it's like you're literally like sitting at a desk.
It's performance reviews, dude.
You can literally be here like doing work and be like, okay, yeah. It's like
you're doing performance reviews, and you look up
nice
doggy style. Interesting choice.
Yep, I like where your head's at.
Let's
circle back on this one.
It shows initiative. Oh, you took a dominant position. Okay. Wow.
Look, I do see the pivot here. I do see the pivot submission.
There's growth potential, except I believe your growth potential is already kind of.
Maybe compliment her a little bit more next time.
Yep.
I think there's more opportunity for dirty talk in this.
Look, it's an area of growth for you. It's an area of opportunity for you to spend more time with your lover, not just like for your lover or for yourself.
And then if you get really busy and kind of swamped, and you can just say, folks, can we put a pin in this? We'll circle back EOD. Yeah. And then the bull exits your wife, and everyone goes and does their own thing.
Yeah. I would be a big fan of saying, let's table this conversation and literally move this to a table right in front of you.
You want to see positional diversity.
Exactly.
You want to see how they can adapt to coaching.
Exactly.
Yes.
Again, are they coachable? Because if they're coachable in the moment, that means that they're going to be coachable after the moment. We could really wrap this organization together and have one cohesive unit. Mm-hmm. As long as we can do that, we're going to win games.
Your wife is going to come, which you were never able to do.
Yeah, I can never make that happen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in the position that I'm in.
Yeah.
Because I can never get past.
You can never sexually satisfy your partner.
Exactly.
And that's why you call in Cameron.
Well, no, Cameron's not my bull. Come on.
Oh, I'm trying to be generous.
You literally we had the ball on the tee for a big men joke.
Fuck!
Like.
No, the big men would never have sex with your wife. They'd only have sex with you.
If anything, Kyle's wife is the bull and I'm the wife.
If anything, Kyle's wife is the cuck in the executive chair while you're getting fucked by Big Matt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We brought this around.
Yeah.
We brought this back.
But your wife obviously has a history in coaching youth sports and can take...
Do we have to cut that?
I don't know. I don't think we do. Legally,
I would enjoy.
I was talking about her. I was talking about her coaching ability.
Her coaching ability.
Yeah.
Why? Let's go ahead. Let's move on.
Let's table this conversation.
Let's circle back, EOD.
This is a sports podcast.
we have
spent 20 minutes talking about how Kyle gets cucked.
Well, that's not the intent.
we all talked about how any one of us could get
cucked. Hypothetically, any one of us. Let's go ahead. Let's move on. Before we talk about the NBA and the NBA Finals, which have just finished up in devastating fashion, with the season, we're finishing up, we're moving into the offseason, and we're heading into the new season next year. This is around the time where a lot of athletes do like their off-season work, both in training, but also in getting their promotions and things ready for the next season, getting things ready. One of those things is shoes. Shoe deals, new shoes, new editions of shoes coming out. A lot of those planning and ideas come in during the off season so that athletes can focus on their play during the season. So we are going to take a look at some NBA shoe lines. All of these are official athlete-sponsored shoe lines. So these aren't just like some Nike basketball shoes. These are official athlete shoes. Signature shoes. And we are going to blind rank them 1 to, what do I have?
If I see those pink gear shifters,
Boom!
right to the top.
Rob with the shifts. I'll let you know, Rob with the shifts, his shoes did not make it onto this list.
You don't know how to make a list.
No, you don't understand what a signature shoe is.
No?
A signature shoe is like literally the AE1. That is a signature shoe. Rob's shoes are a PE. It's a personal edition.
Well, yeah, but
of the GT cuts.
But it's the Rob with the shift one.
This is my domain.
Which is why you should be, if you fuck up this list, it's extra bad on you.
Yes.
So let's go ahead. We are going to blind rank. I have 6 shoes. I have 6 shoes here that these guys are going to blind rank. We are going to start with a baseline. We're going to start with the AE1s.
Ooh, yeah. There's a great silhouette on these shoes.
What colorway are we looking at?
I'm thinking just straight Stormtrooper white.
Okay, that is a fire colorway. I will give it to you. It's that one.
These?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if that's necessarily my favorite colorway, but
I can respect it.
Yeah.
There's a great silhouette on the shoe. There's a lot of great protection in the shoe, especially if we're talking about the mids. If we're talking about the lows, that's a different story.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of great support. There's a lot of great durability. These shoes are made for and that's a really cool thing. It's like it's for an all-around player, and that's what these shoes were marketed for. One thing that I also like to consider here is price. These shoes are, I think, retail 110, 115 somewhere in there.
That's cheap.
They're good.
I might have to get
good prices.
some.
Yeah, that's cheap for a signature shoe.
Especially if you just go to like Adidas, like you can get them pretty cheap. They don't come in high quantity, but they are pretty cheap. So the affordability here, access for multiple people to get this product, wear it, rock it. You can rock these with jeans. You don't have to wear this on the court. You can wear this outside. There's a lot of versatility in this shoe. And that is definitely not me glazing Anthony Edwards. But
well, this is big for you because it is an Adidas shoe.
This is one shoe that I respect.
This is an Adidas shoe that you are respecting and glazing.
Yes.
I like the zigzag shape on it. I like the little holes on the side, and the commercials are awesome.
Yes.
So I'm gonna have
the ad campaign is a critical factor here.
Personally, for me, not a shoe guy.
Yeah.
These are probably my number one.
I was gonna say number 2.
Well, yeah. I don't know what
I have some ideas for number 1.
Like.
It just depends on if Ryan has those shoes for number 1. I could respect a number 1 here, which is a hot start.
It's very safe.
It's the most safe one in a blind ranking I think we could ever get. So I say we take it.
All right.
This is
All
1.
AE1.
We're putting AE1s at the 1. That's a strong start, but it's a strong shoe.
It is a very
strong shoe. There are only a few that could be above it.
Right.
You know, you've got your classic old Jordans could be up there. Maybe Dunks, or Air Maxes or things like that. Yeah. But a strong start to the list. Let's go ahead. Number 2. Let's head to the Converse Wade ones.
The Wade ones?
The Wade ones. The first picture.
That is fucking disgusting. I have never seen that shoe before. That can't be Dwayne Wade's shoe.
That is the Converse Wade ones. That is for sure the Converse Wade ones.
Look at these. They look like...
Yeah, those are awful.
It's so bad.
It literally
so
looks like...
bad.
It looks like they taped the
it looks
shoe
like
around.
fucking tape.
They put masking tape.
Yeah, and then they took a box cutter and like slit through the tape.
They put electrical tape around fucking Converse.
Yeah, this is a strong contender for 6 for me.
For 6?
Yeah, there's 6.
There's
6.
Yeah, we have 6.
Right.
But like,
granted,
I don't know a lot about the performance here. That's my thing. Like, I know a lot of modern shoes. This is not a modern shoe for me.
This is fucking awful.
Yeah,
this is disgusting.
This is fucking awful.
Yeah, I don't think there's a redeeming quality of this shoe.
I've yet to find one, and I put this list together.
Yeah.
So
can we? I think we're starting strong here. The 2 M's.
Ooh, the playoff edition. You get some white tape on the toe.
You can just get a better version of that shoe in the LeBron Soldier 4.
You could
and
literally
it looks way better with the
buy-
exact same color block.
You can buy a $25 pair of Converses
Yeah.
and put duct tape on it.
Yeah, and you're saving money.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
where are we putting the wave
6.
ones? 6?
6.
Let's
Yeah,
throw
these
them
are
at
fucking
6.
disgusting.
Just garbage at 6.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the KD 11s.
The 11s.
The KD 11s.
These pink
Yeah,
ones?
these are.
The pink.
These are a classic.
Include the pink
Yeah.
colorway. I was thinking the
You're talking about the
like
rainbow?
blue sole with the black
Yeah.
cover. That
Literally
one.
that first picture.
That one.
Yeah. So there is a key technology in the shoe at the time that Nike was highlighting called Flyknit. And it's still present in Nike shoes, but this is a super lightweight basketball shoe with a lot of structure in the heel. I don't remember what the tab on the back is called, but it's got that air zoom unit in the sole, a lot of cushion, a lot of traction. This was a staple. I want to say this came out, was it 2014, 2015, somewhere in there?
I gotta check.
Well, no, he's on the KD 18 right now. So this would have been about. They don't come out with KDs every year, though.
The KD
Wait.
11s were released in 2018.
Okay, 2018.
June 12th, 2018, they were unveiled.
So he won a second ring in these.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
So this was a staple shoe for a lot of KD fans. There's impact here. I will say that. Overall blocking, I think, obviously we've seen a lot better. We've seen a lot better build in a shoe since these KDs.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say that this paved the way. This was kind of a little bit of a step back when we put Flyknit in those shoes. I shouldn't say we. When Nike put Flyknit in those shoes. When Nike put Flyknit in those shoes, it wasn't necessarily what they wanted to see from a basketball shoe. They made them heavier from that point, and they changed things up. But it was an icon. This is a classic. So I got to respect the game.
Cameron, what do you think of the KD 11s?
I like the blue sole. I like how it's kind of like a fabric. I don't know. I think they look comfortable.
They are.
Yeah, I like the colors together.
You got 2 through 5 to put it. So where do we want to slide the KD 11s?
like 3, 4.
Sure. I mean, I'm thinking 3, just
3.
gut reaction, but
Yeah.
obviously,
I'll go with 3.
Slide it in the 3?
Okay.
All right. The KD 11s are moving into the 3 spot. So you got the 2, the 4, and the 5 left. Let's go ahead. Let's head to the Jordan 15s.
Oh no.
The Jordan 15s.
Oh. I don't even have to look at them. They got that stupid fucking lip on the front. What does that do? What does it do?
Be ugly as shit.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an awful pro. It's
dude,
it's
the
one
silhouette.
of the worst profiles of a shoe I've ever
Yes.
seen.
Yeah.
It's awful. Like
It's
just
truly
the
disgusting.
silhouette of this shoe is garbage.
This is a common like meme in sneaker community because the joke is like, oh yeah, the Jordan 1s hurt like your midfoot, the Jordan 3s hurt your heel, the Jordan 4s hurt your toe. These hurt your eyes, your brain, your heart, and your soul. Like this is a disgrace to shoes for basketball.
I still like it better than the D-Wave.
True. But again, with Jordan, when we say a disgrace, like that's still a very high quality shoe.
Mhm.
I like this part on like the arch.
Yeah. It's just it's trying to be futuristic without retaining any style, any motive, any direction.
Mhm.
It was a hodgepodge of ideas that didn't work. And they also are not comfortable.
No, they don't look comfortable at all.
No.
They look like they don't look like they do anything right.
No.
They just look bad.
Thank you for adding to my
Yeah.
point. Like this truly like sucks. It's not as bad as those weighted
Wait,
ones,
ones.
but this is still a bad shoe.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a
5.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Jordan 15's moving into the 5. We got
So
the
we got
2
2
and
and
the
4.
4 left. Let's go ahead. We got 2 left. Let's go with the Fila Grant Hill 2s.
Yeah, I do not know these.
If it's this colorway,
Nope, it is not that colorway.
Is it
I'm
the-
specifically the white with the black outline.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
All right. Right.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I
I wouldn't say they're like super sick. I don't like how they're like
I don't like that.
The sides
tab
are
on the
like
back.
completely flat,
Yeah.
which I don't really like. But
it's narrow in the midfoot, which is where it is not supposed to be narrow. It's like the opposite of what a shoe should do, because your toe box is supposed to collapse in, those spread out. You're supposed to have width in the mid, and it doesn't. And then it also like collapses on your heel, which is okay, but that it doesn't look comfortable. I can respect the silhouette here. I think they do that well. Just the general blocking of it and the structure of it looks really good. But I don't think performance-wise this can be very good.
for someone with flat feet, that arch looks painful.
Yeah. Hold on, just flip back to the laces. Like what does that do? What?
Lace the shoe.
Yeah.
But it just does like the right over the tongue. I like this little thing on the toe.
Yeah.
there.
There are great like stylings in this shoe. It just doesn't seem like a high quality performance shoe.
It's not. I wouldn't wear it. I'll
Yeah.
say that. So I'd be fine
Yeah.
putting it at 4.
I think
and
4 is
just
safe.
saying fuck it and seeing
Yeah.
what we get it to.
All right. So
Because we've done multiple brands here, we haven't gone back to like one specific. Obviously we had Jordan and Nike, but my idea here is he's probably going to go like Under Armour or some other brand. Maybe he's going to do the Howleys. I don't know. We'll see.
So
Yeah.
we're putting the Fila Grant Hill 2s
At the
4.
at the
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So at your 2 spot, the 2 spot, last spot available, you have, let's say you dodged a real bullet here.
Oh yeah.
At the 2 spot, you have the Jordan 3s.
Yes.
You have the Jordan 3s. Air Jordan
This is an
3s.
iconic. Or what color are we talking here? We talking reds? We talking black hats? We talking?
I was specifically looking at either the whites or the reds.
Are we talking fire reds? Look up Jordan 3 Fire Red.
Yeah, the Jordan 3 Fire Reds, because they most closely imitate the color scheme of the original Jordan 1s.
I own these shoes. You have seen me wear these shoes.
Yeah, I have.
Like
I don't know.
Also
It's just
the-
kind of iconic. I feel like.
Or the
this-
black cement.
Yeah, the black cements.
The black cements.
When
are
did they
also-
originally release? Like back in the 80s? Or
Yeah, he wore them for his first ship, I'm pretty sure.
91?
Yeah,
Let me check.
because he won in the 3s, the 4s, the 5s. He
Jordan
did win in the
3s
6s.
was first released in in 88.
Yep.
First Jordan. It was the first Jordan to feature the Jumpman logo.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because the first two were... Well, the first one was a swoosh. The second one didn't have a Nike logo on it.
From someone who knows nothing about shoes, there are so many basketball shoes that look like this. I have to imagine that this is.
This
part
was
of the
one of the
reason for
first.
that?
Yes,
Yeah.
this was iconic.
Yeah.
This was a
I'm
culture
not. I'm
sign.
not saying that as a knock because I feel like it was
The
an
one thing I
OG.
will say, I own a couple pairs of 3s. They're not comfortable.
You don't wear Jordan 3s for comfort.
Yeah, no. This now is a style specific shoe. It is not for performance anymore. At the time, cutting edge technology.
Mhm.
Like this was like, oh my god, we need this shit. Now it's fashion. I wear it for a little while and then I gotta swap them out. But they are such an iconic shoe.
Yeah.
2 is great.
All right. I think sliding that into the 2, I think you got a great list here. You've got the AE1s at top, followed by the Jordan 3s, the KD11s at 3, the Fila Grant Hill 2s at 4, the Jordan 15s at 5, and finally the Converse Wade 1s at 6.
I think we got it right.
I think you guys got it right because I was worried. I think you guys were not as critical on the Fila Grant Hills as I was. I thought those were the ugliest fucking shoes. Like those were not good. They looked
It matches the brand.
They looked like they looked like it does match the brand because it's Fila, but they looked like blocky grandpa shoes.
Yeah. That was the thing. Like,
They're
on that
still
back
better
side,
than the 2 we put below.
They're
them.
better than the Jordan 15s and they're better than the Wade 1s.
Yeah.
But I think they're like a dead heat even between that and the KD 11s. I don't think they're closer to the KD 11s than they are to the Jordan 15s. I think it's
not ridiculous to say that.
The top 3 sneakers are like here, here, and here.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Filas, and then you've got the Jordan 15s and the Wade 1s.
Mhm.
I feel so bad for Dwayne Wade that his name had to be associated with that shoe.
I mean,
Holy
he did.
He
bring
had
back
to sign
around.
off
He
on
does
it.
have the layawades now with I don't remember what brand.
There was Wade had his personal. It was so funny. It was a stall in the market space at Fanatics Fest, and it was a combo of 3 different player brands, and it was so funny to see Dwayne Wade's brand next to D'Lo. And
no, D'Lo's under the Wade.
Is he?
Yeah.
Right,
they have a parent company, but like I can't think of the name.
It was the ugliest. I was like, damn, Dwayne Wade,
like a Chinese company.
Yeah, like Dwayne Wade, the best player in Miami Heat history, like the best Miami Heat player. And then D'Lo.
Yeah.
He's been loading.
Yeah. Practice your mid range.
Practice your mid range.
Practice your entire bag, bro.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. As of recording 2 days ago on Sunday, June 22nd, the NBA Finals concluded in a Game 7 thriller, or what should have been a Game 7 thriller between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Unfortunately, actually, like one of the most emotionally devastating moments of the playoffs, Tyrese Halliburton in the first quarter of the game turned his Achilles into cream cheese. That shit is shredded. Yeah. He already went under the knife to repair the torn Achilles tendon. He will likely be out a majority, if not all, of next season in rehab and recovery. We are wishing the best for Tyrese Halliburton, along with anyone else. There were a lot of Achilles tears this year. I think I'm going to talk about that just a little bit when we talk about the finals. But rehab and an injury like that is brutal. It's awful. I don't wish that upon even my worst enemy, even you, Jason Tatum. But it's it kind of tainted the rest of the game and how we look at it of like, because he started off hot.
Yeah.
He started off hot from 3, and then he had just that devastating injury. But before we get into talking about the games, we have to circle back around to our predictions. We had predictions at the beginning of every round of this NBA playoffs. Cameron, would you like to let us know how they turned out?
All right. So for the finals, me and Ryan both predicted OKC in 6. Kyle predicted Indiana in 6. And unfortunately, the Indiana Pacers lost, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are your reigning NBA champions.
Boo! Mickey Mouse ring! Boo! You made Kyle sick! He's allergic to Mickey Mouse rings.
I'm allergic to the Oklahoma Shitty Thunder.
Shit gay ass.
Yeah.
So how did our predictions end up?
Me and Ryan each got 1 point for that. Kyle gets nothing. Final standings. In 3rd place, we have Kyle Jeffrey Springer.
Yeah. We had to use my government?
10 points. You can bleep me out.
Kyle Springer, social security number.
In 2nd place, who's it going to be? Drum roll. It's Ryan.
Yeah.
12 points. You beat Kyle by 2, and coming out with
You're coming out?
I'm coming out with a whopping 17 points.
Woo! That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Congrats,
Here's
Cameron.
your trophy.
You Stanley Cup that shit.
Right?
Yeah.
It
was all beer.
Okay.
Congrats, Cameron. It's official now. This officially proves you do know ball.
Yeah,
I
fuckers.
I don't know ball.
Kyle does not know ball. I kind of know ball. That is what we have learned.
To here. Kyle FC, I'm speaking to you right now. I've done this a lot on this podcast.
You've done a lot of addressing to Kyle FC that you're going to do better next time.
We'll be back.
I think we might need might need a change in management at Kyle FC.
I have to ask Joey for like a thank you fans.
Thank you fans graphic.
I just got wiped.
You gotta get that. You have to get that. Oh, that's good. That's good. But let's talk about the game.
Cameron Army is so up right now.
Cameron Army is so up. Cameron
Army just got deployed to Iran. Boom!
You said it wrong. It's Iran.
Cameron Army just got deployed to Iran. Boom!
You really did.
We
have to go.
We're keeping that whole thing in. Are you kidding me? That is gold.
But you're
Unfortunately, speaking of
Thank
Iran,
you, fans.
the Taliban is officially going to be out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Shisis was it Shisis?
Or-
Shay ISIS?
It was like Al
Al-Shaida. It was Al-Shaida.
Al-Shaida.
Al-Shaida, Al-Shaida, Al-shit gay ass.
Yeah.
Has unfortunately won. But just like 2011, we will not let them win again.
We will fuck them like we fucked Bin Laden.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right. Now watch this drive.
Yeah.
That is possibly my favorite clip of a president of all time. Is we call on the world community to end these terrorist acts. Now watch this drive. And to be
His
clear,
missile.
fucking line drive. Great drive by George W. Bush there on that hole. But not the place to be talking about world terror. But speaking of terrorists, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of, if not, is he not? I believe he's the first player since they invented the award to win MVP, Finals MVP, and Conference Finals MVP
Yes.
in the same season.
He's the first MVP since Steph to win the finals, I'm pretty sure.
In the same season.
In the same
season.
season. In the same season.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
I want to throw this out. Because I've seen this put around. Where does this season from Shea rank in like the last 10 MVP seasons?
10.
Yeah, I mean, he also won the scoring title and 68 games.
I think in the last 10, arguably, you could put him in like the top 3. I feel like there's an argument there, obviously for like 2016 Steph. I want to say there's I can see he didn't win the finals.
Let's make this even easier.
Yeah.
I have the last 10 MVPs
Okay.
dating back to 2015.
Yeah.
I will give you them, and you tell me if you would take this year's SGA over that MVP. 2024 Nikola Jokic.
No.
No,
I would not.
I'm not taking it over any of Jokic's seasons. It's
No.
just pure
Dominance.
dominance.
Yeah. Literally put an entire team on his back and said, I'm taking. I mean, you
Oh.
have Jamal Murray, but
I think we can agree what the worst MVP season in the last 10 years is.
would you take SGO over Joel Embiid in 2023?
Yes.
I would.
Yeah.
Gazillion %.
Holy, and that's not a testament
One
to how much I
non-trillion
love
percent.
SGA. It's how much I fucking hate Joel Embiid.
Agreed.
And
God.
Embiid had no right to.
It should have
It
been
should've been
Nikola
it
Jokic's third
should've-
straight
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, but he had to
Absolutely.
whine and say, "Oh, the media hates me."
Yeah.
I think
Me.
I
He deserved to be
subscribe to
in.
the narrative that Kendrick Perkins running his mouth cost Nikola Jokic his third
Yes.
straight MVP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely
100%.
Because he
He
should have.
he was leading up until that point.
So we're not taking. Are we taking SGA over either 2022 or 2021 Jokic?
No.
No.
2020 Giannis.
I'm taking
That was the short season,
2020 Giannis over SGA. I am taking SGA
Yes.
over 2019 Giannis.
Okay.
Because he won Deep Boy as well in 2020.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just trying to remember which one was the shortened season. 'cause
So it was 2020.
Yeah.
That was 2020.
1920.
I feel like that's a factor that we at least have to consider.
It's like a lockout year.
Yeah.
But like he
Still within those games, he was a beast.
insane.
Yeah. I can agree with you where it was like 2019 when he didn't win Deep Boy. I would take Shea over that. But then 2020 Giannis, take Giannis over.
2018 James Harden.
James Harden's better. That season was insane.
Probably Shea.
What? That's the scoring numbers from James Harden that season were insane.
Shea averaged 34. It's not that far behind, and Shea actually won in the playoffs instead of missing 28 straight threes.
Well, that wasn't entirely James Harden's fault.
Well, yeah.
James
contributed to it,
James
but-
Harden did have more assists per game.
Yep.
But
I don't definitely not
Yeah.
rebounds.
not
Was
boards.
he? Did he have a higher?
No, he actually had a
field goal
lower
percentage?
points per game
Oh, really?
than Shea this year. So Shea,
Yeah, no,
maybe I
was-
just reflect on that season better because that's really.
I think he scored higher in Westbrook's MVP season.
Yeah,
probably.
probably.
Well, what
Yeah, that was
about
the argument.
Westbrook's MVP?
No, he averaged a triple double.
Yeah,
That
30,
Westbrook's was
32, 10, and 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jokic has done that like 4 times
Yeah,
now.
yeah. And
Exactly.
he's dominant.
That's why.
But now we see
Russ
him from
is
a guard.
better.
it's just the efficiency numbers are so much worse from Russ. And
Yeah, he
they
did shoot.
lost in the
He
first
shot
round,
42.5% from the field.
Yeah.
That's the lowest of any of these MVPs by a pretty significant margin.
Yeah.
I think Shea's a way better defender than Westbrook was.
Especially that season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, that pure individual, like, it was unprecedented at the time, and now it's a common thing.
I think it comes back to the conversation about valuable, because what that OKC team without Russ, because that was post KD left.
They were the 6th seed in that season.
Was that the year that Paul George was there, or was that the year before?
That was before.
It was before Paul George. It was like Russ and the power of friendship.
I believe so.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
Because James was gone.
Sabonis was there. I think they had Oladipo at that time.
Because they would have had them before the Pacers trade. So yeah.
So would we take Shea over Russ?
I'm taking Shea over Russ.
I'm taking Russ over Shea.
I'm taking Shea over. No, I'm taking Russ. Triple double is averaging a triple double as a guard.
Yep.
To me it has to mean something. Are we taking Shea over either of the Steph Curry MVPs?
No. Just
so that puts Shea in the 6, 7,
in the past 10
ish range out of the last 10.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're probably not the best people to make that judgment.
No, I think we are. I think we're the best.
Well, how many did I say you? I said he was better than Embiid, one of Giannis's.
Embiid, one of Giannis's. Harden's, Russ's.
So you would have had
better than 4. So you would have had him 6,
and I would have had him 7.
So I still though. I mean, and to be fair, the last 10 years of MVPs have been. There have only been a few MVPs where it's like there weren't. If we were going all the way back, I love him, but we'd probably take Shea over either of Steve Nash's MVPs.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Steve Nash is probably one of my favorite point guards of all
Easily
time.
taking it over Derrick Rose's MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, that's a great narrative MVP, but it is what it is. Even though we may think he's not an ultimate MVP, he showed why he was the MVP in this game.
Yes.
This game 7, he came in when his team needed him to get a bucket. They did, especially because the first half, the supporting cast around him, J-Dub and Chet, were not playing well.
No.
This Oklahoma City team has been a story of the third quarter. And if the opponents can survive the third quarter, they are relentless. And they went into the fourth down
13
or 14.
Yeah, 13 or 14. This team grinds you out in the third quarter and then just makes it too far to come back from. It's congrats to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's all the praise I'll give them because I don't like them. I don't like their franchise, and I don't like most of their players.
Yeah, I also don't like their fans.
True.
Especially those fans that were outside of the stadium after the game. I really don't have much analysis other than it's the what if that I feel bad.
Third quarter, TJ McConnell tried so hard.
God, that white boy was
10
balling.
in a row.
That white boy, he was from the 8 minutes 30 left in the third quarter until about 10 minutes left in the fourth. The only pacer that had scored any points was TJ McConnell.
Yeah,
and he had about 8 or 10.
Yeah,
he was the only pacer who scored in this back half. Or the back 2/3 of the third quarter.
And he was getting fouled the entire time. The refs did not blow a whistle.
Yeah.
And then they would walk down the other court and immediately blow one for OKC.
No, some of that officiating was dog shit. Like, Lou Dort fully grabbed his arm directly in front of a ref, and he was just like...
And Lou Dort flopped on...
Oh, yeah.
God.
When he just kicked his leg out and looked like he fell on a banana peel.
Yeah.
That Shea 3-point jumper where he kicked both his legs out, trying to draw the foul, that was disgusting.
Evil. Yeah.
Yeah. But look, I've said, and I would have my money on that I don't think the Thunder are going to repeat, only because parity in the NBA is at an all-time high, and I know this team is good and they're built to be successful in the future, but I just don't see them going through that gauntlet of a season again.
Yeah.
Going back-to-back is really hard.
Yes.
And while the OKC Thunder is very good, I don't think they're that good.
Especially to keep the pace that they're on. I definitely don't see them repeating. They could repeat as
the last team to even make the finals after they won it was the 2019 Warriors.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been. It's been a while.
Yeah. And especially with some of these teams in the West now, after some moves,
Yeah.
Let's go. It's been crazy since even since before the finals ended, where there was one trade we didn't talk about that we mentioned a little bit. We will talk about it, but holy shit. The NBA has said, fuck it. We're not waiting until the draft. Let's go buck wild.
Yeah.
Just to name off some of the big names that have been moved. Desmond Bane got moved. Kevin Durant is now a Houston Rocket. Drew Holiday is a Portland Trailblazer. CJ McCollum is a Washington Wizard. Jordan Poole is a New Orleans Pelican. And whatever the fuck happened with Tingus Pingus, the 3-team trade with Brooklyn and... What?
Like Quavo.
I like you, man.
3-team trade. You're not so bad, you know?
I like the work you do.
But a 3-team trade involving the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets, and who else was in on that 3-teamer? We'll get
the
there.
fucking Celtics.
Yeah, Atlanta. That was it. But we're gonna touch on each of these trades. I want your guys' initial reactions to each of these trades that have immediately changed the landscape in the NBA as we know it. Let's start chronologically. Desmond Bane to Orlando. Immediate reactions for this trade, Cameron.
Immediate reactions. You don't. I had no idea Desmond Bane was on the trade block. I thought they liked him over there in Memphis. But with the return they got for him, they got a ton of picks. They got a good young backup point guard.
4 first-rounders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Desmond Bane, is he a one-time All-Star? I feel like he might have been it.
Yes. Yeah. I want to say one-time All-Star.
Keep going. I'll check on that.
Yeah, they got a good backup point guard. They got KCP, a veteran who can definitely fit into their... I don't know if they're still going to have a defensive-minded system since they do have a new head coach now. But I do think with a player like Ja Morant, having someone like KCP there to mentor him a little bit. Morant's still immature, young, so
Desmond Bane has never been
okay. I get him and Tyrese Maxey.
He was on the all-rookie team.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was in the 3-point contest.
So
he was at All-Star Weekend.
Him and Tyrese Maxey, I get their career paths mixed up occasionally. I don't know if I will now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for Orlando, they were the worst 3-point shooting team last year. Why not go get one of the best 3-point shooters in the league?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's basically all they're going to need him to do.
Yeah.
Because that team still has Paolo, Franz Wagner. They still have shot makers and can move the ball. They just needed a shooting threat.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Jalen Suggs, KCP fell out of the rotation pretty quick in Orlando, even after they re-signed him. They also didn't really have space for Cole Anthony when they have Anthony Black on the roster who they're trying to develop. Yeah. So
the trade from Orlando makes sense.
From Orlando, it makes sense. I just feel like they gave up a lot, but I feel like also since maybe Desmond Bane wasn't originally on the trade block, they had to. They did kind of have to throw something at the wall. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, God, I just lost my train of thought. This trade kind of feels like one of the Minnesota trades, not the one that we did last year, but like the Rudy Gobert trade of like, hey, we recognize we have talent on the roster. We have a position that we can fill. Let's send it. Let's elevate ourselves. Because like when we had Cat and Ant, it was we're that fringe bottom of the West, like made it in the playoffs once. We're around that area, and then that propelled us into a contender in the West. I think that's what Orlando was looking to do here, is make themselves a contender,
especially in this East.
Oh
right.
Yeah,
especially right now with all the injuries and all the other moves.
Before Tyrese got hurt, which is definitely going to hurt the Pacers.
But again,
competitive.
Their GM saw a window, and I was like, we can move on this. Yeah. I don't know what Desmond Bane's contract looks like, but I would feel that this is definitely a long term.
I think it's pretty similar to what Jaden got, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he has another year on there.
And so he's probably due for like an extension, and maybe that's what Memphis was saying. How are we going to pay?
He signed an extension before 20. that started in 24-25, so started this year.
Okay.
A 5-year, $207 million
Okay, so
contract
he's locked down.
Yes.
for
so
the next
this is
4 seasons.
So this was a long-term deal because I'm sure, like in Memphis, like they can't pay JJJ and Desmond Bain and John Morant. Like they ran into the situation. Literally, they ran into the situation. That
And
Minnesota did.
it's his rookie extension, so
Yeah.
there's no player option on the back end of
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's just a full.
5 years.
There's no option on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I see where Orlando has now a almost 4-year championship window because but again, we talk about contract situations and how hard it is to keep a team together. Look at Orlando because they got to pay Jalen Suggs, they got to pay Paolo, they got to pay Wagner. Like
Well,
they have so many people to pay now.
I believe they've already paid Wagner.
But Paolo should be due if he hasn't signed one already for a supermax
Yeah,
extension.
I mean who else do they have on the books?
Wagner is he is locked down through 2020 or through 2030.
Oh wow.
Let me
Paolo
check.
has not. He's too young.
Yeah.
I think he's still got another year or two on his rookie.
Let me check. Yeah, he is. He's still got
2 more.
one more. Next year is his last of the rookie year, and then 2026-27, he is a restricted free agent. So they'll probably
so the extension would have to come this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll
But
get a
this
deal
year
done.
he's still on his.
He's still on his
contract.
rookie contract. He's got a $15 million cap hit since he was a
Number one overall
yeah,
pick.
number one pick.
So with all of that in this cap situation, I see where Memphis wanted to make this deal. It all in all, it is a good trade for both teams. As long as they're keeping that mindset and they're willing to do what it takes. I see why Orlando did it. Like it clicks. You're competing in a weak East. You needed that elevation. You needed that one extra star player to move your franchise into that next tier of contending.
I wonder if they're gonna move. They're probably gonna move Jalen Suggs to the starting point guard.
Yeah, he's making he's got a $35 million cap hit. He's making a lot of money for them right now.
He kind of has to start.
On their rookie extension.
So him, then Bain, then Wagner, then Paolo, then Wagner.
Yeah.
Probably.
For
their starting five.
For their starting five?
Yeah, I think Mo Wagner's probably better than Wendell Carter right now. I don't know what they'll.
There could be a
There's still full off season to go.
Yeah.
The season just ended 2 days ago.
So
we haven't even had the draft yet.
I know. So there's a lot of promise in Orlando, I would say. Even Desmond Bain said it because he's not in a dungeon anymore.
True. Look, I've said it. We said it on the draft when we did the 2020 redraft. I'm a Desmond Bain fan.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I love this for Desmond Bain. I think he's in a perfect situation where he can just do what he has to do, which is shoot the three. He's not going to be asked to be a slasher. He's not going to be asked to make ISO moves in the paint. He can move off ball, catch and shoot when defense is going to have to collapse to deal with either Franz Wagner or Paolo Banchero, and he's going to be their go-to kick-out guy. And I love this.
He's not going to be asked to go inside or do any fancy moves, but the thing about having a guy like him on the roster is that he very well can.
He's like if KCP wasn't shit. Or not KCP, Michael Porter Jr. Michael
Porter Jr. had a bag.
Yeah.
And also, Michael Porter Jr. has really long arms. Desmond Bain has really short arms.
And then for the Grizzlies, I don't know what their plan is. I think
it's John. JJ.
It's John Triple J, and I'm a fan of Jaren Jackson Jr., former Michigan State Spartan dog. I don't know if that's a winning formula for Memphis. I don't know what.
Well, they got a new coach coming into this year.
Yeah.
I personally think Jaren Jackson is one of the most underrated players in the NBA right now.
Yeah. I think it comes down Memphis. The question for Memphis is always just going to be, what Ja Morant are you getting?
Yeah.
Are you getting this year's Ja Morant where he was in and out? When he was in, he was pretty good, but he was in and out of the lineup. He got hurt a little bit. Are you getting irresponsible suspended Ja Morant?
Speaking of irresponsible Grizzly, what are your thoughts on starting center Zach Edey attempting to pass someone?
100 miles an hour.
I think
He was passing someone.
it's okay if you're just passing someone. He's a
Look, he saw that
I
10
never
mile an
liked
hour
him.
rule and he was like, oh, 10? Let me add another 0.
I was never a fan. I was never a fan of Zach Eady. Sorry,
Dirty player,
Griffin,
I've been
man.
saying it.
Yeah.
We've been saying on this podcast.
Yeah, we have.
Let's go ahead. Let's move on to what
Really big one.
many consider to be it was kind of one of the two biggest possible dominoes to fall. The other one being Giannis, but as of current, it looks like Giannis is going to be staying in Milwaukee for the year.
Because really all the other teams could trade for them.
It's kind of like this. You got
Unless
the
he's going to
Spurs
Brooklyn.
left.
Unless he's going to Brooklyn.
Unless he's going to Brooklyn.
You could say Miami, but also Miami does not know how to put together a serious trade offer.
True.
Yeah, they refused to put together for Jaime Jaquez or Kel Ware.
Or
No, they put Jaime Jaquez in it.
Or who
They
Jovic.
refused to put Jovic in there.
Oh,
For some reason, Jovic is not that good. He's been in the league for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah. And he's supposed to be this Jokic clone, and he's not.
He's not.
And Jaime Jaquez was the centerpiece of the Kevin Durant trade, and I would
Miami.
much rather have
Dude, the quote
Jalen Green.
Was it Shams or was it another reporter that was like, Miami Heat never seriously entertained this; they just did it to please their fans.
Yeah,
It was through Shams tweeted it, but it was through another reporter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's a wild quote.
But this trade, of course, we're talking about Kevin Durant, who is now a Houston Rocket. The exact compensation, the Houston gets Kevin Durant, and the Phoenix Suns in return get Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 overall pick this year, and 5 second rounders.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Bain went for 4 firsts. And you got 1 first out of it and 5 second rounders. They're going to be high.
Yeah.
They're going to be high second rounders.
Yes,
They're going to be high second rounders.
I
But
think
Jalen Green is worth 2 or 3 first rounders. As
you're still only equaling the Desmond Bain trade for Kevin Durant.
you're the one who says Kevin Durant is washed.
I don't. I
he's
think
never going to win a championship.
I think. See, now I have to think who is going to beat the Houston Rockets in round 1. Because someone will, because Kevin Durant will never win another playoff series. It's just whether Kevin Durant gets carried by my GOAT Alperen Şengün to a playoff series win, just like he got carried by
You're
Steph Curry.
Şengün'er.
I am a Şengün'er. I'll say it loud and proud. I am a Şengün'er.
Mm-hmm.
But for this trade, I'll start with you, Kyle.
Yeah.
Give me the Houston side of this.
My initial reaction for Houston here was you get worse on defense. Not that Kevin Durant is bad at defense by any means, but you're losing Dylan Brooks' defense, who is statistically a better defender this past 2 years than Kevin Durant has been. Your offense goes leaps and bounds. But I feel like this was just kind of like a middling trade, and you just mortgaged your future for a win-now window that didn't really exist. I think they do have a lot of young talent on the roster.
And it opens up a lot more room for them. Amin Thompson is going to get a lot more play. I think Cam Whitmore is going to get more play. Reed Shepard is going to get more play.
Reed Shepard. I forget how deep Houston is. So that was my initial reaction, was this was a middling trade. But after sitting on it for a day or two, I see a lot more potential in this Rockets team to open the window more. Granted, Kevin Durant has 2 years left in the tank, 3 years left in the tank. I would say
probably.
I'd say 2.
Yeah, 2.
Sorry.
Did something else just happen?
Not huge, but I think it could be good to mention. Kyrie Irving has declined his $43 million player option and is signing a 3-year, $120 million contract.
So instead of $43 million, he's going to make $40 million?
Yeah, but he's going to be with Dallas for the next 2 years after he comes back from rehab.
Yeah.
So he's going to stay there through the beginning of the Cooper Flag years.
Yep. Kind of like what you were talking about when you were talking about the draft.
Yeah.
So for Houston, I see a better window. Granted, you are mortgaging a little bit of your future. Granted, I see the young talent, so you don't need a ton of picks to build your roster around, but you are putting all your chips on the table and saying, we are going to win something with Kevin Durant. I would like to see it happen. I just don't know if it will happen in this superstar studded West.
Mm-hmm.
For the Suns, I get it. You can't pay your big three. Again, we've talked about it before, where it's impossible to have a big three with this current CBA and how the aprons work. So I understand why they had to do this trade. I'm sure Kevin Durant wasn't happy, but
He wanted out.
Yeah, he wanted out so bad, and obviously made it publicly known. So
Did
you had to do it.
Did you see the report that Kevin Durant came out and said was Hail Mary, long shot, no chance, but that there was a physical altercation in the Suns practice room during the season?
Yeah.
It
wasn't true.
him who said he said
no,
he denied
KD
that.
came out and said
That's
this is
stupid.
bullshit.
Yeah.
This isn't true at all.
Yeah.
And then
It was Kendrick Perkins.
Kendrick Perkins
was
doubled down.
Yeah, it
and
was
like,
my source
I
was
heard
one of
this
your
from
teammates.
one of your teammates. It wasn't you fighting, but your teammates did, which I can
Makes
see
sense.
You've got Grayson Allen and Devin Booker. Those are two personalities.
Yeah. So I do see Phoenix obviously regressing. They didn't make the playoffs this year.
Nope. They did not make the play-ins this year.
Yeah, exactly. This does make Phoenix worse. They just traded away arguably their best player this year for fucking Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, which Jalen Green's a development project here, but
he'd been a developmental project.
True.
He
I'm not denying that.
he developed for one playoff game.
Exactly. Obviously, you're getting a haul of picks, but this Devin Booker era sucks. Like, he made it to one finals.
He was, to be fair, he was 2 games away.
Yeah, he was.
From winning a ring.
Yeah.
And now lost 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he's cry baby bitch, and I hope he suffers, and I hope the Suns suffer.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because Matt Ishbia, owner of the Suns, Spartan, Michigan State Spartan dog. Mad respect.
Great concession prices.
And yes, great. Love what you did with the concession prices. I think more NBA clubs should follow up on that.
We talked about that.
Yes, but boy, I hope your star suffers.
Yeah.
As like in a basketball sense, sees no success in his career. Because he's a crybaby, and I don't like him personally.
Yeah. If I'm thinking about Phoenix, I think obviously you take the Houston offer because it was much better than the Miami offer. I think the Minnesota offer was the best, but I'm glad it didn't happen.
It would have been the best for them.
He didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
I think that's where we
for some goddamn reason.
That's got to be fuel for Ant.
Yeah.
To be like, your dog didn't want to come.
Well, apparently Ant wasn't like trying to recruit him or anything.
Yeah, but I mean, it would have been like.
Right. It would have been nice.
There's a difference between like, oh, they didn't put up the best offer, and oh, supposedly your team put up the best offer, and he just doesn't want to play with you. Yeah. It could be because of the weather, it could be because of this, that, or the other thing, but he didn't want to come here.
It was taxes.
It was taxes.
Yeah, so I get why you took the Houston offer, but if you look at the roster right now, their 4 best players are all shooting guards. They basically have no depth. Pretty much their entire bench was on 1-year deals, so their roster's pretty free. Obviously, you do save a good amount of money on that since Jalen Green is on a pretty team-friendly contract.
Well, because he's still on his rookie deal.
Nope, he got an extension, but it was like a smaller one.
Oh, okay. God, he's been in the league that long.
Yeah, I think he signed it pretty early though, like after year 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quick.
Yeah, so I don't know what you do there. The Suns have said that they don't want to trade Jalen Green, which I don't think makes any sense. I think they should, if they're not going to trade him, you got to trade Booker.
And you need players.
You need to figure out what the fuck Bradley Beal is going to do, because apparently he does not want to be traded, which I understand.
Yeah, he has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
He's going to make $50 million to be ass.
And so they're going to keep trying to trade him, and he's going to keep saying no.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very interesting to see what they do in the offseason, but Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, and Dylan Brooks together on a team is like building a super squad of the worst people you know.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. They currently don't have a coach, right?
The Suns?
Yeah.
No, didn't they get the Cleveland assistant?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. Johnny something.
Johnny Sins.
True.
Yeah, I've been...
Jordan Ott.
Yeah.
Jordan Ott.
Yeah.
I've been sprinkling in my thoughts about Houston when they were talking at think it frees up a lot of room for their young guys. It gives them that veteran presence that I
They
think we
need.
were all talking about. They needed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, we talked about it, or at least I talked about it, where Houston in their playoff, like they had no playoff experience. Really.
Yeah, they had. I think we all talked about that. They had no playoff experience. That's why they were looking to trade for Jimmy Butler. I think Kevin Durant is better than Jimmy Butler, and the trade package is pretty similar to what you would have had to give for Butler. So, yeah, I like this for Houston. I am a little confused about what's going on in Phoenix. They have a lot of work to do, but we will see. I don't expect them to be competitive next year.
No.
Yeah.
I think this Houston's set up to have another great regular season. It's a shame that they'll be losing in the first round of the playoffs.
To Minnesota, probably.
Well,
yeah,
no,
because we're going to be the 1 seed. They'll be the 2 seed, I think.
But whatever it is, they have Kevin Durant on their third team, so they'll never win another playoff series.
Yeah.
It's a shame. I like Houston, but you know what? You dug your own grave. You traded for him. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead. Let's move on to the Boston Celtics. Let's do a little 2-for-1 here. The Boston Celtics have decided to sell the farm.
Brad Stevens is giving me a migraine, dude. Like
it's reportedly, I think, I don't remember who the reports are, but a lot of people are on the table.
Yeah.
For the move. Tatum is not, of course, and Jaylen Brown is reportedly not on the table.
There is a lot of interest for Jaylen Brown, apparently, though.
I mean, there should be.
According to Shams today.
Derek White, I know there's a bunch of teams that are.
Yeah,
well, yeah, Derek White would be a blessing to any contender.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they have sent Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers in return for Anthony Simons and a couple of other pieces, I think.
I don't think it was players. I think it was picks.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a first in 2 seconds, or was it 2 firsts in a second?
I don't know.
I think it was a first in 2 seconds.
Then they also traded away Kristaps Porzingis.
Drew Holiday to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simons in 2 seconds.
Okay.
And then let's look up let me get the Tingus Pingus trade.
It was
up here.
Tingus to Atlanta.
Kristaps Porzingis is now an Atlanta Hawk. The Brooklyn Nets got Terrence Mann and number 22 from Atlanta, and the Celtics received a second and Georges Niang.
Yeah, which I think the Celtics got good players back. Like, I don't want to discredit Anthony Simons or Georges Niang. Like, they're quality players in the NBA. It doesn't make sense why they made these moves.
I think it does.
Like, I get it. You can't pay all these guys, but I talked about it before. I'm a chemistry guy. These were core pieces to your championship roster, other than Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Drew won it.
Drew was there to win.
Yeah, these are core pieces to your championship.
He's one of the only players to win 2 rings.
Yeah.
In like the last 6 years.
Yeah. Look at it this way: do you want Porzingis on your team when Tatum comes back from his injury?
No,
probably not. I wouldn't want him on the team right now. I think he sucks in his current state. I think he forgot how to play basketball.
We gotta find out what he was sick with.
Yeah, because it was
like what
devastating.
Was like
he had to have gotten AIDS or something.
It's got to be something. I don't know if it's AIDS.
Maybe Monstar, whatever Ben Simmons did to his back. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. If he got Ben Simmons, he's fucked.
Yeah,
he's fucked. Yeah,
it couldn't have been like.
When Jason Tatum comes back from injury, are you gonna want Drew Holiday on your team?
I mean,
probably not.
No, he's gonna be old. So why not trade him now when you can actually get something back for him, like quality pieces that can fit on a championship team?
Yeah.
I like this for Boston. If they trade away Jaylen Brown and or Derek White, I don't know how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But just to like rapid fire through the other teams involved. I don't know what this does for Portland. Where is your scoring? You're gonna score 65 points a night. Mm-hmm. But there is still free agency left.
Scoot Henderson
and Shaden Sharp. Like
that's it.
And
sometimes DeAndre.
I don't know how that team is going to... I think it's going to be a very solid team defensively. They've already been a great defensive team.
I mean, you only need to score 65 if you let the other team only score 60.
Yeah, but don't know how I feel about that for them. Atlanta, I don't know why you would want to trade for Kristaps Porzingis, like we were just saying.
They're betting on Kristaps from 2 years ago, because if you put Trae Young with 2022 Kristaps Porzingis, Atlanta becomes a playoff team.
I think that Kristaps Porzingis is dead. I don't think he's going to be good anymore.
That's very possible. I think Atlanta's betting that I think they have to know something about his medicals in order to have done that trade. Like, they have to know what's up with him.
Well, I don't think they do. That trade happened like 2 hours ago from time of recording. I don't think he's done like a physical with the team yet. So
I mean, they could still back out if he fails his physical.
Yeah.
But I think Atlanta won't go through with this trade if he's got like a debilitating and chronic medical condition now.
Yeah.
If it was just like, man, he had a really bad case of mono from making out with Sam Darnold or something.
Yeah.
Or
just some
a
random
girl that
virus.
did not consent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he has been known to do, if that was the deal, I understand it more from Atlanta's side, because you need someone who can score next to Trae Young. But if he's this year's Kristaps Porzingis from now on, Atlanta, yet another case of mismanagement from the Atlanta
I guess
Hawks.
I could see a little bit of like maybe a veteran presence, like we were kind of talking about with KD. Because I forget how old Tingus Pingus is.
He's old.
Trae Young is fully a vet at this point.
Yeah, Trae Young is,
because he's been in Atlanta for 8 years.
Yeah,
that would turn anybody into a vet.
I don't think they need a veteran presence when their best player
I'm looking at
has been in the league for.
Did they get started to get Reese Shea?
What? They got Reese Shea.
They got Zachary Reese Shea. Alex Sarr went to the Wizards.
That's where I see the mentorship. Is like you have this kind of.
I don't think this play similar at all.
But maybe Atlanta wants.
They want their shooting guard, small forward, to play like a power forward center.
Yeah.
To play like a stretch five.
Maybe it's Atlanta.
Yeah,
they've not been the mecca of great basketball decisions. So
I don't know.
Cough to DeJounte Murray. But
granted, Atlanta hasn't made a lot of good decisions in the past. So I agree that it doesn't make sense for them. I'm still flabbergasted.
Let's go ahead. Let's move on to the final deal, if we can.
Yes.
A lot of these were moving one significant player for another, or one significant player for a couple of pieces. This was a very serious back and forth between two teams. The Pelicans and the Wizards entered into a deal where CJ McCollum would become a Wizard in return for Jordan Poole, and I lost the trade details.
I know Kelly Olynyk is a Wizard.
And Kelly Olynyk.
No, Kelly Olynyk is a Wizard now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else did they send to the Pelicans? They sent one more person.
I think so, yeah.
The 4-player deal, yeah. Oh, Sadiq Bey.
Oh, yeah.
It's Sadiq Bey because the I can't remember, someone in management, either the GM or someone on the staff who was in Detroit previous to being in New Orleans, also traded for Sadiq Bey.
Hey, someone really likes Sadiq Bey.
He's their guy.
Yeah.
It's like Sadiq Bey started in Detroit. He went from Detroit to Atlanta to Washington.
He took Sadiq Bey then, because I remember someone called Sadiq Bey Tim Connolly's Mike Conley. Of like, he's just even though Mike Conley, but I don't think he was in Denver, but with Tim Connolly. But he's like, Sadiq Bey is this guy's guy.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll take him. I'll take him too. I'll take him.
Yeah.
But it's CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk to the Washington Wizards in return for Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey.
What does this do for either team?
Why? There must have been something in Washington about they just didn't think their future is around Alex Sarr, and I get that it should be around Alex Sarr because he was your touted draft pick. But could he just not work with Jordan Poole?
Yeah. Maybe
you want more veteran presence to play with him, and CJ McCollum brings that. maybe you think Jordan Poole is just too immature, but like I don't think CJ McCollum's a better scorer than Jordan Poole.
Last season he was.
Again,
He was great last season.
I forget how
He had a
old
ton
these
of 30
players
pieces.
I just
CJ's like 32, I think.
Yeah, which isn't bad. Like I'm just bad at ages.
I don't have too many thoughts on this. I think Washington is building a ragtag gang of misfits. They saw Dallas build a team with a bunch of second options last year, and they said, "Hey, that turned out really well for them, right? They did good. We're gonna do that." They got Chris Middleton. They've got CJ McCollum. They've got Marcus Smart. It's just a ragtag gang of misfits.
It
And
could
then
work.
New Orleans, I don't trust their front office or their management enough to really see this making an impact at all, even though Jordan Poole realistically could make a good impact on that team.
Mm-hmm. I think the only thing that I can grasp for New Orleans doing this is that they wanted to get younger. Not that they were old, but it's just like they need to look towards the future still. Obviously with Zion's current predicament,
I was going to say
they want a new star.
Their whole future is dependent on what they decide to do with Zion.
Yeah,
and I think the current reports are that they plan to keep him around. That he's going to stay.
I no
they really
longer
haven't
want Zion
commented
on the
it.
Wolves.
Yeah,
I
don't think I'd like him here in Minnesota.
I'll rescind my "I want Zion on the Wolves" statement.
But now their starting lineup looks like
Poole,
DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, Zion, and Yves Missi.
It's not an awful lineup.
It's not awful. I like a lot of those players. I'm a big
Yves
Missi guy.
Herb Jones at the 3 as well.
Yes,
you
could get a Herb
interchangeable right now.
They also have Bruce Brown.
I think realistically, 2 of those 3 guys get moved this offseason.
I could see that. I hope they keep Yves Missi. I like Yves Missi.
He played 1 season there. I think they'll keep him.
Yeah. I would.
He outperformed his draft position.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yeah, I don't.
I think it's the least significant.
It's the least significant, but I think one of the most confusing.
Just like okay, like those 2 front offices are both on
they said,
another planet.
"Hi, we'd like to do a trade that makes nothing for the long-term futures of our team. Would you like to?" Thank you. All right, wonderful.
And I'm here.
Great.
I see you got a misfit. I need to add it to my ragtag gang.
I need that misfit there.
Let's get him in my ragtag gang, please.
I'm imagining the Moneyball scene where you're in the office, you're playing Jonah Hill, and you're on the phone. Yeah, you got a misfit there? Can we get silently?
I'm just imagining. I love
Moneyball, but it's a ragtag bunch of Moneyball. Yeah. They're Moneyballing.
I just had a
these
great
are
image
like old
flash
players.
I just had a great image flash in my mind. You know where like Brad Pitt is like on the phone and he tells the guys like I'm gonna call you back, but he like already hits hold.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine. Fucking like Spo and like Pat Riley are doing right now. It's like they're just talking to themselves.
I'm gonna call you back. We'll circle back EOD. Put it in. Let's go ahead. There's going to be so much more NBA to talk. The draft hasn't even happened yet.
Yep.
There's still teams that are expected to make moves. A lot of the report came out that a lot of the teams that were in on Kevin Durant have now moved their focus to other stars, looking at people like De'Aaron Fox, even though he just got moved to the Spurs. Yep. But there's still so much that's going to be happening. Sham said this is going to be an active offseason, and I believe him so far.
Especially with how we've started.
This is going to be a great offseason for the NBA. Let's go ahead. Let's head over to the NFL. We will continue our predictions. We are going to head into the NFC East, but first, we are going to play a little game I like to call NFL Connect a Teammate. I'm going to give you both 2 players that have a certain teammate in common. They both played with a certain player who you should probably know. I need you to give me the teammate that they both played with. I have 3 players here, or 3 sets of players with 1 teammate. Whoever can get 2 out of the 3 wins. Are there any questions before we begin with the game? And since this is a competition, and we're live now, I'm gonna need your buzzer sounds.
Oh, I gotta think.
So-
I have an idea.
Okay, go
I have
for
an
it.
idea
I
for
don't
mine.
have an idea.
Kyle, do you want to give us your
I'm
buzzer
on the
sounds?
spot.
I don't think that was what you were trying to go for.
Trying to blow
I
a
don't
raspberry.
think-
It didn't work.
I don't think that was what you
Um,
were trying to go for. Whee! There's your buzzer
Yeah.
sound?
Actually, I'm gonna change mine.
Okay. So we've got, just again for the audience, we've got, and we have, okay, great. So your first two players, you have to find the common teammate. Your first two players are Stefan Diggs and Emmanuel Acho.
Who?
The NFL analyst.
He's an analyst now on, I believe he's on the facility on Fox Sports 1 from 10 a.m. to 12
He
a.m.
was
Eastern.
listed in that one case against Joy Taylor.
Yes.
I'm a woke liberal. I don't watch Fox Sports.
Yeah, fair and valid. God, what team did Acho play for?
And who's the other guy?
And
Diggs.
Diggs.
So you would have. Well, they didn't have to be on like the same franchise.
You both played with Laramie Tunsil.
No, that is not the answer I'm looking for. I'll give you it if Kyle.
I was gonna guess Case Keenum.
It is not Case Keenum.
Am I along the right track
Hint.
here?
You are on the right track.
Okay.
The hint is Emmanuel Acho only played 2 years for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Sam Bradford.
It is Sam Bradford.
Yep. I was trying to think when Sam was in Philly.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was probably when he wound up with Acho, and then when he came to Minnesota,
He was with Diggs.
Diggs,
Yes.
yep.
Sam Bradford is who we are looking for. So that was one for Kyle. This next one, we got two Florida players that have played in Florida, but not for the same team. We have Leonard Fournette and Andrew Van Ginkel. Kyle,
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
that is not who I'm looking for.
It's
Wait,
Cam
what's
Robinson.
your buzzer sound?
Cam Robinson.
I think that's technically correct, but that's not the player I'm looking for. Let me check.
Really, Ryan Fitzpatrick didn't play with Leonard Fournette? He might have played with Andrew Fitzpatrick.
I don't believe.
I don't think he
Ryan
played for the
Fitzpatrick was a
Jags.
Jag.
And,
No, you're right.
and he wasn't.
He was
He's on the Bucks now, right?
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick?
No,
he's
Fitzpatrick
retired.
I know he's retired.
they both-
Fournette.
They
Fournette
have
is
both played for the Bucks, but I think they played at different times.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, they never overlapped.
I think. Okay, yeah. I think Cam Robinson is technically correct.
Way to go, Cam.
That is not who I was going for, but that is technically correct. I'll give you the point.
Yeah.
Kyle, can you guess? I'll give you one guess to go who I was actually going for.
I just keep seeing Ryan Fitzpatrick's big ass beard in my mind. I don't know.
The player I was looking for was Jalen Ramsey.
I always forget he
He
was
played
Jags.
with Ginkel in Miami
Yeah.
and Fournette in Jacksonville.
I
He
forgot
was part of Saxonville.
He started.
He
in
started in
Jacksonville.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize Fournette was. He and
'cause-
Fournette overlapped. I thought
well, 'cause
Fournette came
Fournette was
after
the
he
running
went to
back
the
when they-
Rams.
Fournette was the running back for the Jags in 2017.
Fournette was the running back on that
On the
championship
conference
game.
finals.
On that conference finals Jags team.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was Blake Bortles,
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette, and nobody,
Yeah.
and then the Saxonville
Ramsey.
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so it's
Man.
1-1. 1-1 heading into the final one. This is. Oh, that's the wrong name, but I know what the right name is. This is two quarterbacks. We've got Patrick Mahomes and Michael Penis Jr.
I mean, it's got to be a recent player.
I have an idea. I can't think of the guy's name.
Would you like a hint? Because this is the toughest one.
I'm down for him.
I'll give you two right here.
All right.
This is a journeyman player who has played for the Minnesota Vikings.
So he would have to be. Yeah. What's his name? No, he's not so. I was thinking Latavius Murray. But he's not
Is it
Murray.
Cordell Patterson?
It is not Cordero
That's
Patterson
a great
because
guess.
I don't believe Cordero Patterson ever
Was
played
with
for
Phoenix.
the Chiefs.
Oh no, you're right.
For-
Shit.
I don't believe
Alright.
he was ever with the Chiefs.
I was thinking Vikings and Falcons.
No, I like where your head's at. I was thinking Latavius Murray, but he's definitely not.
It is
in the
not
league right
Latavius Murray.
now.
And also, he is right. Cordero Patterson would not have been with Michael Penis Jr.
Yeah.
because he was with Pittsburgh this year.
Oh,
Mhm.
Would you like
Are
another
we-
hint?
Yeah.
This is a defensive player.
Okay, I was
Alright,
thinking offense.
A journeyman defensive player who has, we know he's played for the Falcons.
Yannick Ngakoue? I don't know if he's on the
Not
Falcons.
Yannick Ngakoue. You're on the journeyman defensive side. That's good. That's good. I will give you a list of his teams in order. In 2018 through 2020, he was in Minnesota. Then he went to Kansas City, then Detroit, and has spent the last 2 years in Atlanta.
Fuck.
Is he a corner?
Is it Mike something?
Is it Mike
Hughes?
It's Mike Hughes.
It
You
is
got
Mike Hughes.
Cam got it.
That's another point for Cameron. Cameron wins 2-1.
Nice get.
Mike Hughes. What a pull.
Yeah. I was starting to form it right as you got it.
Yeah.
I was like, was this going to be too obscure? But I thought because he was a Vikings
Yep.
draft
We can
pick
get
and
him.
he played
Yep.
for 3 years, once you knew he was on the Vikings for a while,
Yeah.
you'd be able to formulate it around.
All three players were Vikings.
All three players were,
Or
they
connected to
all
the
had
Vikings.
some connection to the Vikings.
Yep.
Jalen Ramsey is not yet a Viking.
Well, he wasn't the one that got the point, was he? Cam Robinson got the point.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't even.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Alright,
you
very
bum.
good.
I got polls. I got.
He's got polls.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
I
We
got
have some.
polls. They'd be like ranked choice, like fucking.
Like,
Zoran.
fun fact. Currently,
Oh wait, how's it going?
Yeah.
it is there are 90% of votes in the New York City mayoral election as of now. First round votes only. Zoran is up 43.5 to 36.3% for Andrew
Ooh,
Cuomo.
Let's go.
If at any point in the first or any of the rounds he goes above 50%, he wins. It's game over.
Yep.
So he just needs 6.5 more percent from the second round polls or the second round ballots to win the election, which would be crazy. I did not think he would, but if he pulls it off, oh boy,
Let's go.
big for Zoran. Speaking of how am I going to connect Zoran Mamdani to Aaron Rodgers?
Israel.
Speaking of people who are pro,
Speaking of people who have lived in New York,
it's true. Speaking
This
of
is
New
true,
York,
yeah.
Speaking of New York, former New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, current Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, has all but confirmed on the Pat McAfee show today that this will be his final season in the NFL. To which I think we speak.
hold on.
Oh.
Can I say my take on that?
Yes,
go ahead.
I have a very nuanced, deep take.
That none of us are gonna have.
Cool. Good for you. Do you want a cookie?
I mean,
We've got cookies.
I want.
We got homemade cookies. They're good,
Mhm.
but
Aaron
I mean,
can't have them.
Aaron can't. No.
Yeah.
Like a storied career. Congrats.
Yep.
We'll clap for
Yep.
you when we retire. You're the. I mean the.
If you hang it up after
I'm gonna
week
be
two, I'm
100%
not gonna
honest.
care.
I'm gonna be 100% honest.
Green
here.
Bay is going to retire his jersey,
Yes.
but
That's the only reason he's announcing it is because this is the year that he's going to play Green Bay, and he wants his retirement to occur.
Yeah,
he wants his welcome back. Like he wants this
For
huge
sure.
ceremony,
Yeah.
and then he's going to throw 4 interceptions and maybe 100 yards.
And then bench himself.
Yeah.
Like
and
For-
then
that's
we'll
the
get
only
Mason
reason.
Rudolph.
For Will
Mason,
Howard,
like-
I said the N-word Rudolph.
So,
Mason,
knowing
Punk,
Aaron
Rudolph.
Rodgers, he's saying this right now for that, and then he'll actually probably play next year.
Yeah.
But I think
I don't
it's-
think he'll play next year. I think his body has betrayed him.
Right.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be
so-
like, wow, a legend of the game. I'm gonna miss watching you so much. It's like, no, you're
Yeah.
watching you isn't really that interesting
Not anymore.
right now.
His
so
legacy.
if it's
He'll go back. He'll go down as one of the greatest throwers of the football. Like
Yeah,
as
but
an
just-
arm talent.
I'm not like, oh no, I only get one more season of watching this Aaron Rodgers.
That Aaron Rodgers has been gone for 3 years.
Yeah.
Since his back-to-back MVPs, he's been pretty poo-poo garbage.
Mhm.
Stinky poo-poo garbage.
I think that's a very
It's reasonable.
It's
It's not
that's a
ridiculous. to say
very
that.
respectful and respectful and nuanced take in this current political climate.
Indeed.
Yep.
Indeed. Thank you for that. But you know what is not respectful or nuanced at all? The NFC East.
Oh my god.
Probably the least respectful division known to man, simply
New
because it
Jersey
contains
Fighting Football Giants.
simply because it contains the Philadelphia Eagles, who don't understand what the word respect means. But we have put together our division rankings for the NFC East. I think we've got some pretty egregious takes. Cameron has specifically told us to be ready for what he has lined up here. So I think this is going to be a very...
After seeing what you guys did, I don't know if mine is too egregious, but I felt very... Wow, I said that after when I just looked at the results of...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be quite a division. Let's go ahead. Let's start off at number 4. I'll go ahead. I have, in last place in the division, I have the New Jersey Fighting Football Giants finishing with a astounding record of 2-15. I have them winning 2 football games. I believe, I'd have to check it again, I have them beating New Orleans, and I have them beating New England. And that's it.
I am.
How the fuck is this team? I'll let you guys go. I have a whole thing here, but
I'm not too far off from you. I still have them in 4th place. I don't have them beating New England. They are going 1-16 this year. They will have one of the worst seasons of all time, and we'll talk about it. But they have such a hard schedule for such a shit football team.
Yeah.
In 4th place in the NFC East, I have your Dallas Cowboys with a record of 3-14.
Okay.
What?
We'll get to Dallas, but
Dude.
Can I just say something on the Giants real quick?
Yeah.
How the fuck are you worse than the Dallas Cowboys? Because I'll say, I have the Dallas Cowboys next. I think they're going to be garbage too. How the fuck are you worse than Dallas? They would be 1-16 if they didn't get gifted a free fucking win by the Saints. And I might even call that game a 50-50 toss-up.
I genuinely, when I was first making this
offense,
I said New Orleans was going to win this one.
This offense is going to be fucking anemic. Tyrone Tracy Jr. is okay, but he's not an RB1. The receiving core is all poo-poo garbage except for Malik Neighbors, who is the only reason they will have any offensive optimism.
Use that picture of the Bugatti in the garage.
The offensive line won't be the worst in the division, but that's only because you're in division with the Dallas fucking Cowboys, who is the 4th best offensive line in Texas. I take Houston. I take Texas Tech. I take the Longhorns over fucking Dallas. And then there's Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, before moving to Ole Miss, Dart was a QB at USC, which is apt, as he will have just as successful a career in New York as the last USC QB that got drafted to a New York team. The Darnold comparisons don't stop there, as they both beat Penn State in a bowl game. And they never made it to the CFP. The difference is that when Darnold came out, he had a massive...
Darnold came out?
I know, crazy, right? That's what it takes to play in Minnesota. You have to be gay to play here.
True.
Darnold had a massive fucking cannon of an arm attached to his right shoulder, and he was mobile when he entered the NFL. Whereas Jackson Dart, according to multiple draft analysts and PFF, has direct quote, no elite traits. You spent a first rounder, New Jersey. You traded up. You traded up in the first round to select a quarterback with no elite traits. The whole thing he was good at was getting the ball to his receivers, right? What receiving core, New York? You have Malik Neighbors and fucking Cameron Gartenson out there. It's fucking awful.
I am not signed to the New Jersey Fighting Football Giants.
Awful.
For the record,
Holy shit.
For the record, I am not employed by the New Jersey Fighting
I
Football
know.
Giants.
If you were, they'd win 3 games.
They'd be better.
If you were, they'd win 3 fucking games. The only possible reason this offense is going to score 6 points a game. It's going to be like that Bears-Vikings game 2 years ago when we had fucking Nick Mullins starting and we won on a last-second field goal, 0-3. That
was
Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas, yes. This New York, the only hope this New York defense, or this New York team has, is that their defensive line is nasty. Holy shit. This defensive line is crazy. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau. Holy shit, dude. They are holding opposing offenses to 10 points. They are scoring 6. And it's on 2 distant field goals. It will be an achievement when the New York Football Giants get a first down. Their fans will cheer in ecstasy when they reach 10 yards of total offense. It's like how Timberwolves fans don't sit until the first points of the game. The New York Giants fans aren't going to sit until they get a first down, and they're going to be standing well into the second half. This team is fucked. How do you fuck it up that bad, New Jersey? I don't even like you. I don't like you. You're not. Out of the 2 New York City teams, you are my least favorite. How do you fuck this up? Jesus Christ, this team is fucking awful. I concede the rest of my time.
I
Holy
had no
shit.
idea you were that passionate about the Giants.
This team is so bad.
I mean, the only way I was going to say that they were going to be that bad is just looking at their schedule. Like, again, they play Washington, Dallas, Kansas City, the Chargers, and then New Orleans, Philly, Denver, Philly, San Francisco, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, New England, and then they have a bye week in Week 14.
Yeah, they're going maybe 2-12, and then losing every.
And then on the bye or coming back from the bye, it's Washington, Minnesota, Las Vegas, Dallas.
I'm a little higher on the Las Vegas Raiders than some other people. I think they're going to be an okay football team.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be one of the worst shellackings of the fucking year. It's oh my god.
Are you this passionate just because you live there? Like,
I don't know why I'm this passionate. I started reading my notes and I got so mad that a team could be this fundamentally mismanaged. I don't know where I'm going to go when we talk about New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be
similar.
I think bad football operations gets me upset, and Joe Mara is just all bad football operations.
Yeah.
So, look at what you did. You gave me a headache, New Jersey. My head hurts now because of you,
Kyle,
Joe Mara.
New Jersey Fighting Football Giants.
Oh, I do apologize for mislabeling, misnaming, like dead naming.
Dead naming the New
Jersey.
The New Jersey Fighting Football
They get
Giants.
to be in New York when they win 3 games. Or 4,
So 4 games, and that won't happen until 2030.
Yeah, they'll be in New Jersey.
I've got them winning exactly 4 games this upcoming season. I'll talk about.
You'll talk about them a bit, but talk about them now, and then we'll talk about Dallas.
Yeah. Or Kyle, did you have anything else to add?
No.
So spoilers. In 3rd place, I have the New Jersey Fighting Football Giants. I've got them going 4-13. I have them beating New Orleans. I have them beating Denver. I have them beating San Francisco, and I have them beating Dallas. And
I'm down on San Francisco, but how are they beating San Francisco?
San Francisco is scoring 3 points a game. I think San Francisco is going to be generationally dog shit.
I think they're going to be really bad this year. I'm not going to spoil
There's so many
anything,
bad football teams.
but they're not going to be generationally worse than the New York Giants.
They're going to get sacked. Brock Purdy's getting sacked at least 8 times.
Trent Williams isn't out for the season. He's going to be back.
Yeah.
I know, but that defensive line might be the best in the NFL.
Oh, you're talking this game.
Oh, that game specifically. Okay, yeah, no. The New Jersey Fighting Football Giants defensive line is going to be good.
I think Brian Dable gets fired after their Week 11 loss versus the Packers.
What will their record be at that point?
They will be 3-8.
After that game, I would say.
I think you were going on about Jackson Dart. I think Jameis Winston is probably going to be playing more, and I think he can get them at least 1 first down every quarter.
I think I
Yeah,
guess one thing I could.
Russell
bring back-
Wilson's technically going to be the real starter,
That's what I was
but
gonna
I
say.
don't.
maybe, but
I think Russ starts
think
the first few,
regardless,
and then they bench him.
I think
I-
regardless, you've got Malik Neighbors who has a great catch radius. So even
Yeah.
if these old guys aren't the most accurate, they
He
can
get
still
there.
throw it deep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Malik Neighbors can kind of convert that for you.
Yep.
I
that's
am
their
very
number.
high on this defense, and when you have a stud like Evan Neal on your team, you're gonna win at least 4.
So why do you have the Dallas Cowboys lower than them? Talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
They have Micah Parsons. They have CeeDee Lamb.
George Pickens doesn't move the needle for you.
What about Dak Prescott?
Don't even say that. Don't say that. It's Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, they get Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs back, and that doesn't move the needle for you at all. It didn't move the needle a ton for me either. But
My
what do you have this Dallas Cowboy record again? 3-14.
3-14. He has them beating the New York Giants in week 2, the Arizona Cardinals in week 9, and the Los Angeles Chargers in week 16.
Man, I'm
that
higher
was
on
it.
the Cardinals than that.
I'm not.
They have
as-
Micah Parsons. They have CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Oh.
For my record prediction for the third place here, I have the Dallas Cowboys going 5-12. I have them beating the New York Giants in week 2, the Green Bay Packers in week 4 because fuck the Packers, the Carolina Panthers in week 6.
Man, I'm
The
higher on the Carolina
Chargers.
Panthers too.
Me too.
I agree with the Chargers pick, and I also agree with. Oh no, you didn't have them beating the Giants in week 18, but I have them beating the Giants again because the Giants suck.
I
I
have
have the Giants winning that one.
I have the Dallas Cowboys also going 3-14. To be fair,
Yep.
I think they are going to be garbage. It's so weird. The Cowboys confuse me because 2 years ago they went 12-4.
Yeah.
Or 12-5.
Yes.
12-5. The year before that, they won 12 games. Then last year, they were complete, utter, stinky poo-poo garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to attribute that to core losses on the roster of your run game went to dog shit after you let Tony Pollard walk, and your offensive line got significantly worse. They did nothing to address their offensive line this offseason, so that problem didn't get better. Or how much of it do I attribute to the fact that they had San Francisco 49ers level of injury to that
it
team
was
last year?
bad.
Micah Parsons was out for a significant portion. DeMarcus Lawrence was out for a significant portion. Deron Bland,
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott, and Trayvon Diggs were all hurt. And on defense, they're getting 3 of those 4 players back. DeMarcus Lawrence is on a different team now, but they're getting Parsons, Bland, and Diggs back. So maybe this defense can be better. I just don't know what this offense can do now that they don't have an offensive line and they don't have a run game. I like who's their fucking good
Jonathan
story?
Mingo. They have
Yeah.
Jonathan Mingo on their team. They employ Jonathan Mingo.
Who's the
That was
short Deuce Vaughn? Who's
Yeah.
Deuce
Yeah.
Vaughn?
Deuce Vaughn.
I like Deuce Vaughn. He's a good story.
Mhm.
He's not a starting running back.
Their big move.
Was Javonte Williams?
No, it was
They're-
George Pickens.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was their big offseason move. But their trade deadline move
Oh yeah, last year.
was Jonathan Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo. Jerry Jones has lost it.
Yeah.
It's
These Cowboys, they're gonna be ass. I'm telling you, they're gonna be worse than the New Jersey Fighting Football Giants.
I think this offense will fall on the shoulders of Dak Prescott, which unfortunately he has shown us that he cannot carry an offense.
He's unreliable.
He is
and injury prone.
he's officially earned the title injury prone.
Yeah.
now. He's just out too often.
Mhm.
Yeah. These two, wow, this is what a shitty bottom half of this division.
I think the top half of this division is going to
I think it's-
significantly change.
I think it's going to be
Yeah.
I think this is a division of have and have nots.
Yes.
Shall we go to number 2?
Let's go to
All right.
number 2.
Yeah.
So number 2, finishing second in the division with a record of 12-5. I have the Washington Commanders.
Finishing second in the division, I have the Philadelphia Eagles finishing 14-3.
With the second seed in the NFC, I have the Philadelphia Eagles with a record of 15-2.
Wow.
Okay. Wait,
Wait.
How do they get the second seed if they
I
don't
know.
win the division?
I guess they're the 5th seed.
The wild
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
the second best record in the NFC.
All right. You two talk about the Eagles, and then I'll talk about the commies.
Yeah.
I've got the Eagles starting out winning 15 games. I have them dropping week 16 and 17 to Washington and Buffalo. What can you say about this team? They're the reigning champs. Obviously, they didn't really lose them any big pieces in the offseason. Like Milton Williams, didn't he leave or did they gain him? Or
No, he left.
He left.
He
Yeah,
left for New
He's-
England.
he's
He
their
got a bag
big-
for New England.
he's their big loss, but you still have
I mean, if that's your big
what's
loss,
his
that's
face?
not
Javon Carter. Or
Jalen Carter.
Jalen Carter,
and,
he's getting older. He's definitely shown that he's a breakout star. They re-signed Zach
Jordan
Bond, I
Davis as
believe.
well.
Yeah, Jordan Davis.
Yes.
They re-signed Zach Bond. Yeah.
There's.
Instead of Saquon.
I don't think this team is really gonna miss a beat. I think the only thing that really scares me is maybe a Saquon injury, but with an O-line this good and the tush push not getting banned, this team is going to be dominant yet again.
My only difference with you is I don't have them starting that hot. I have the same 2 losses at the end of the season where they lose week 16 in Washington and then lose again in Buffalo, and then bounce back to end the year.
Yeah,
I haven't losing to Kansas City.
Yeah.
I know they obviously just beat them in the Super Bowl, which is fuel for Kansas City to play a little bit harder, and that's their opportunity to maybe like miss a step.
Yeah, I mean they did
at all the rest of the season.
That's fair. They did buff up their O-line, which is what
Yeah.
Philly really took advantage of in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I feel like that one's going to be a closer game than
Yeah,
we probably realize.
I
but-
think that'll be close, but I
Yeah.
just think these Eagles are going to be riding on the momentum still.
Yeah.
And
so. But
once they
beyond
get
that,
once they get past the start, they've got a. I wouldn't say super easy,
yeah.
but I think there's
For-
quite a few games that they can just coast
Win
through.
for a Super Bowl champion schedule, this is a.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
nice.
when you have the
It's
Giants,
It's a nice. Yeah.
when a
a
quarter of your schedule is the Giants and the Cowboys, you're
You're
Yeah.
bound to win 4 games no matter
you're,
what.
you're not going to have a bad schedule.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you hit on all my points for the Eagles. So talk about your.
Can I talk about the commies real
Yeah,
quick?
and then we'll get into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Or
Or
do
do
you want to do your Eagles take, or
Sure,
do you want to
sure.
save that?
No, I'll do it. So I have the Eagles winning the division at 15-2. I believe I have a pretty similar schedule as to Cameron. I have them. I think I have them beating Buffalo, but I think I have them losing to Kansas City because Devil Magic. In the early season, Devil Magic is different. But I do have them losing
in
Washington. I just don't think it'll be enough. So Philly, this offense is going to continue to be electric. I think it's a top 5 group of weapons in the league. I don't think we're going to see the same Saquon as we did last year. That's what history shows us. After a running back has had a 2,000-yard season, no running back has ever had more than 1,500 yards. No running back has cracked the 1,500-yard marker.
Derrick Henry didn't do it this
Nope.
year? Oh.
Nope. He is following a 2,000-yard season, no running back has ever cracked 1,500 yards. And I don't think Saquon's going to be the one to break that. I think he's going to get close. Yeah. I think he's going to get 1,400.
I think he'll cross the 1,000 for sure.
Oh, for sure. I don't expect this offense to miss a beat, though. This relies on Jalen Hurts and his ability to continue to play competent, safe quarterbacking and not put the ball in the harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
That's as long as Jalen Hurts doesn't become what he was like 3 years ago, which is a little reckless, a little loose with the football. Yeah. If he continues to play smart, safe football and let his teammates help him, I don't see any real regression from this offense.
No,
on
he's definitely matured in his decision making, which is.
And even when they were in the Super Bowl last time and they lost to the Chiefs, I thought Jalen Hurts played an incredible game. He just had that one critical mistake. If you remember that fumble that turned into a touchdown for the Chiefs, that was his one critical mistake, and he didn't do that this year. Mm-hmm. If he continues that, I love it. On the defensive side of the ball, entering last year, I had major questions about this secondary. and whether they were going to be able to play at NFL speed with a lot of young guys on the back end. Boy, was I wrong. They proved me so wrong. Now, they do have one critical loss. Well, two critical losses on the back end. One, C.J. Gardner-Johnson has left. He's now a Lion, I believe. And secondly, and this is even more devastating.
Darius Slay left, right?
He wasn't there last year,
Oh.
though. He got moved 2 years ago. No, this is even more devastating. Defensive coordinator Vic Fangio did come out and say that they are considering moving Cooper DeJean to safety. Which means we would lose a white boy cornerback in the NFL. It would just be Riley Moss in the Denver Broncos.
Also, they did lose Kellen Moore, but who they replaced him with, do you know?
I don't remember who their new offensive coordinator is.
I don't know.
Kevin Patullo.
No idea if he'll be better than Kellen Moore or not, but Kellen Moore was pretty good, and now he's going to go rot in New Orleans, so... Yeah, but I still think this offense has the talent to put it together no matter what.
Yeah, you said it. This defense is stacked. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter up front, Nakobe Dean, Azeez Ojulari, and Zach Bond as your starting linebackers is a fucking menace of a front seven.
Yeah.
My one worry with them is their edge pressure. I don't know if they're going to have the same edge pressure with their down lineman edges. Because they play a 4-3 front, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. They don't do the standing edges that a lot of defenses do nowadays. Mm-hmm. But the good thing is, because you have Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in the middle, your edges are going to get a lot of one-on-one reps. Yeah. They're going to be shifting protection inside the whole game, and you're going to have all you need is to win one spin move, and that's a sack. Yeah. So I like this situation for these edge rushers. This team is just going to be electric.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And you don't have them winning the division. So why don't you go ahead, tell me about the Commanders. Tell me why you have the Commanders winning this division.
With the 1 seed in the NFC, I have the Washington Commanders with a record of 16-1.
I wasn't that generous.
Christ.
Yeah. Wow.
16-1.
And guess when I have them losing their first game?
Good Lord.
Week 16?
18.
I have them going 16-0 to start the season.
And they choke the...
They just give
they
up.
rest everyone.
Yeah,
they rest the starters.
They've locked everything. That's valid.
You don't think if they had a perfect season on the line, they'd play for it?
I think they would.
I think they would.
I think if they had a perfect season,
everybody does. If you have a perfect season on the line,
and
maybe, but it's also in Philly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say you start your start in that situation. You start your starters, and if they
get blown out,
or if someone starts to see some fatigue, it's just pull them. Your trigger is very
short.
The schedule is kind of ass.
A little bit, and the only other loss that I see them having, I agree with you with the Week 18 loss. I have them dropping to the Chiefs. My picture of the Chiefs is just not that teams are scared of them, but it's the only other real contender on this Commanders schedule. And I feel like they have to lose more than one game. But this team is great. This team grew a lot in the offseason. They had a lot of moves. We talked about them a lot throughout our offseason expenditures. They made a lot of trades.
They got Laremy Tunsil. They got Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Quality players that are going to build around Jaden Daniels, who is bound to have a fantastic season. Bouncing off his rookie
season. You can say tapes out. I'm guessing that's going to be part of your take, Ryan. But
it's actually not going to be part of my take. I have a different reason.
But I have high hopes.
No.
Okay.
Good. I know I mentioned it before. It's the sophomore slump, and again, tapes out. But I have a lot of confidence with this team right now.
I have Jaden Pookie Bear Daniels in line for a sophomore bump.
Yeah.
I don't think the issue on this team is going to be Jaden Daniels.
No.
Yeah, I do. This defense is not that great.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them like the Lions from last year.
It's going to be a firefight.
I think they're going to be the best offense in the NFL, probably.
Very well.
Them or us.
I think.
Depending on how JJ is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I have the Commanders going 12-5.
That's fair.
Still.
Well, yeah, I told you, egregious.
Yeah. Still, I do have them. I'll say I do have them making the playoffs.
Yeah.
As a wild card.
Yeah.
Which at 12-5 you would expect to.
We all agree.
I
that
don't
the
think
two
there's any way
teams
this
will
Commanders
be-
team is not making the playoffs unless Jaden Daniels has a season-ending injury.
There is. I said it when he was drafted. He's small.
Yeah.
He is small, so there is an injury possibility.
And he got
He
banged
got
up
injured.
a couple
He got
times.
banged up. He got
Yeah,
banged
his
up at
ribs.
LSU.
Yeah.
And he got banged up last year.
Yeah.
But he still played.
Yeah, he's never had like a major injury.
But here's my thing about the Commanders. So like I said, Jaden Pookie Bear Daniels is in line for a sophomore bump, not a sophomore slump. Say this because the team around him, offense especially, has improved this year. Hold on to Terry McLaurin. They keep Noah Brown. They bring in a couple of wide receivers, rookie wild cards, some flyers that could turn into valuable wide receiver threes and whatnot.
Running back Debo Samuel.
But also older Debo Samuel. So
Yeah,
I don't know
but-
how impactful Debo's actually going to be to this offense.
Brock Purdy sucks ass. Jaden Daniels and Jaden McDaniels.
They
are
both are awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
To me, this group of weapons doesn't scream elite by any means, but it doesn't matter because this team put up fucking offense last year.
Yes.
And now there should be a market improvement at offensive line with the addition of Laramie Tunsil by a trade with Houston, and they spent their first-round pick on Josh Connerly Jr. At the right tackle position. Jaden will have more time this year, not less, to operate within the Kingsbury offense, and it'll be less reliant on him scrambling and making shit happen, which he can do, and the Kingsbury offense does build that in. If you remember, that was kind of the whole deal in Arizona.
Yep.
Was Kyler, if your first or second read isn't there,
Move.
get out and make something happen. Either do it with your feet or do a scramble drill on the run kind of thing. The problem here is regression to the mean.
Yep.
This team won a lot of. This team is like the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh yeah,
from
they did win
3
a
years
lot
ago.
of close
They
games.
won a lot of close games.
But they're not going to be close this year.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think they won't win as many of those one-score games, but the games they win will be more handily won. Because I think the offense is just going to be better. On the defensive side of the ball, I'm not 100% sure what to make of this unit. They let Jonathan Allen walk, but they brought in Javon Kinlaw on the other side. I don't know if that's a lateral move. To be totally honest, I didn't pay a ton of attention to most recent. Jonathan Allen used to be a fucking dog. I don't know if he still was that dog near the end there. And they still have Daron Payne. The edge play concerns me. And their secondary is a mix of young, inexperienced guys and experienced old guys.
Yeah,
They've got Bobby
Lattimore.
Wagner,
Yep.
Frankie Louvu, Marshawn Lattimore, and Will Harris at safety. They're experienced, but they're old.
Yep.
And then on the other side, Quan Martin and Mark Sain were still new draft picks this year. And then Noah Igbenogany was a first-round draft pick for Miami in 2020, and he got run out of fucking town because he couldn't play.
Yeah.
But they took a flyer on him, and he's young, he's quick, he's lengthy. So if they can kind of cover each other's asses,
Yeah.
I'll say he'll be better, and Jeff Okuda will also be better.
yeah, I believe it.
Yep,
I believe
the
it.
bust from that
Uh,
first round secondary.
So
class.
I just think this team is not going to win as many one-score games, and that's going to hurt their record. But they're going to be a better team.
Yeah.
They're going to be a better. They are a scary, and they made it to the fucking conference finals this year. They're going to be a scarier team this year than they were last year. I just don't think their regular season record's going to reflect it.
Yeah.
That's my take. But if I had my pick between Philly and Washington to face in the playoffs, I'd pick the gun and shoot myself.
Yeah.
That's a fucking. I don't know who I'd pick. They both terrify me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, hard to say now, but I think once you get to that point of the season, there will be at least one kind of key player, one or two at least missing for each team,
Mhm.
and then it's more.
it
of
depends
a,
on who it is.
Yeah,
It's
but
about a
right
group.
now,
Like if Terry McLaurin is out for some godforsaken reason,
Yeah.
that changes everything.
but I think right now it's
a lot of these are a lot of our
It's-
predictions are kind of like perfect
It's
world
like
scenarios.
boom, way up here, and then like
Yeah.
way down
Fucking
here.
garbage
This is,
tier.
this is a magnet division.
This is a division of
Yep.
have and have nots.
Yep.
You are either the haves and you are Philadelphia and Washington, or you're the fucking dumpster divers and you're Dallas and the New Jersey Fighting Football Giants.
Yeah, I don't know. They do still have Evan Neal.
Evan Neal. Is that like the Dwayne the Rock Johnson Rock?
Have you guys not seen the Evan Neal memes?
No.
I don't know
Can't say
why,
I
but
have.
I get like a Giants meme page.
I still get Mike
It's-
Glennon memes.
I get an Evan Neal.
Mike Glennon.
You
I
gotta
get an
be
Evan
able to
Neal
pass that.
I love Mike Glennon.
page like recommended to me. It was
Yeah.
just maybe like a Giants meme page on Instagram, and every comment is just Evan Neal.
That's good.
And it's so funny.
That's
We
good.
love it.
Yeah, this is going to be a very top-heavy, bottom-heavy division. Have and have-nots. But you know what we do have? We have a pleasure for us here this week. It's the one, it's the only, it's Cameron's album of the week. Cameron, what have you got for us this week?
Yeah, so today's album of the week is Time and Place by Caro Bonito. This is Caro Bonito's second studio album. They are a British pop group consisting of members Sarah Midori Perry, professionally known as Sarah Bonito. She's also a DJ. And then instrumentalists Gus Lobin and Jamie Bullitt. Yeah. So Sarah Bonito, pictured here, she's half Japanese, half British, so a lot of their early music has a lot of Japanese vocals. Takes a lot of influence from Japanese music, such as city pop, dream pop, and bubblegum pop. They released their first mixtape in 2014. It was called Intro Bonito. It featured a song called I'd Rather Sleep, which kind of blew up on TikTok later on. And also Flamingo, which famously got remixed with Childish Gambino's Bonfire.
Shrimps are pretty rich.
Okay, it's Childish Gambino, homegirl drop it like the NASDAQ move. White girls like it's coke on my ass crack move. Black girls, cause man, fuck it, either either. I love pussy, all the bitches, dude, I should be running Peter in Adidas.
That one.
Yeah, that one. Their first actual studio album came out in 2016. It was called Bonito Generation. It is one of the most fun albums I've ever heard. Shout out the song Trampoline. Shout out the song fucking Graduation is a banger.
She made Graduation?
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
holy shit.
She made Graduation.
Holy shit.
We won.
How did I not know this?
Today's my graduation. I did my dissertation. It's just fun bubblegum pop. Very low stakes. Fun, serious, not serious. It's good. It's really good. This second album of theirs, Time and Place, came out in 2018. They definitely wanted to take a more experimental approach with this album. They've cited artists like Mount Erie and My Bloody Valentine as influences. Two artists I love. Yeah, they definitely bring a lot more technical elements into this, a lot more experimental elements into this, while still maintaining a super fun album. I think the first initial example of this is on the third track, Only Acting, switches up like crazy in the middle. It starts off like super fun bubblegum pop track song, and then it gets all fucked up, and you gotta listen to find out. Another song that does this is the closing track, Rest Stop, which starts off as sort of like, oh, a soft song, then you think, oh, this is a pretty good outro. Suddenly halfway through, everything drops out. It's just like a little haunting, dissonant bells in the background and whispered vocals, and it made me flinch the first time I heard it. It jump scared me. You guys are closer to the microphone than me, so yeah, a couple other songs on this album I would like to shout out. Outside in Time Today are two really fun tracks to start it off. Fly Away is also short but fun. It's like
Shinigami? What was that shit?
No, it was the fucking Chidori.
Oh. Oh yeah, what about this?
Make Believe is one of my favorite songs on here.
On
I listened
Stage
to
20.
it a ton last
Stage
year.
18.
Wow, you guys really do not give a shit about Cameron's album of the week.
Sorry.
Yeah, Make Believe, love that song. Super fun song, just about dreaming and escaping in your dreams. Music can be fun and low stakes.
Sometimes when I escape into my dreams, Cameron is there.
You can never escape from me. You knew that, buddy. Yeah, I
I'm
definitely
trapped.
think the first half of this album is a lot. I would say it's just got higher highs in the second half of the album, but I really like the song Swimming near the end. The production on that track is super cool. Yeah.
No.
Let me pass it off to my amazing co-host, my amazing and attentive and respectful co-host right here.
I think I had thoughts.
You think they have Micah Parsons and CD Lamb?
They have Micah Parsons and CD. This band actually features Micah Parsons and CD Lamb.
Fun fact.
Fun
Yeah.
fact. No, I think when you first sent this album, it's not an album that I would have come across naturally, just like scrolling on Spotify. And I'll be totally honest, when it comes to new music, I don't absorb a lot of new music. I like what I know, and I know what I like for the most part. So this is not an album I would have come across on my own. Of course, I knew the band, but that was because I knew their song Flamingo. I mean, if you don't know Flamingo, what rock have you been living under?
Yeah.
But I never thought to explore them and their work more. And coming when you sent this album across, gave it a listen, and there wasn't anything individual that like screamed out to me, but it was all good. Like they're usually on, what is the song? I forget again. Dump. On Dump, the vocal stylings at the beginning, usually that thing would that kind of delivery would get on my nerves a little bit, but it honestly didn't. It wasn't as off-putting as sometimes other artists I've heard try to do it when they do it. And I just generally enjoyed. I think this is for me, this album is going to go in my like study work rotation of like things that I can have on and be listening to passively, because like you said, music can just be fun sometimes. And it's not this like heavy thing that I'm going to get bogged down in. It's nice. I enjoy it.
I feel like it took me a few listens at first to pick out like Flyway and Make Believe as standout tracks for myself, just because they do have such a unique and individualistic sound. You kind of have to get into their world in order to, find out what about it you like.
I think by the way you talk about it, I think it needs another listen. I think I'll give it another listen.
It needs a lot of listens because it's a great album.
I feel bad.
Expand. Why do you feel bad? When it started when you were born.
And it's been a long road.
It's been downhill ever since. Started when you started a podcast.
Yeah, I listened to this podcast or this album.
You listened to this episode already?
Wow.
Yes, because we definitely haven't had to record this. I listened to this album on the car ride over here, so I did not finish it, even though Cameron so graciously sent this to us like a week and a half ago and said we are doing this when we are in person, and I still didn't listen to it. So
on vinyl, so I wanted to prop.
Yeah. So I feel bad. But from what I heard, there's a lot to enjoy here. It was the third track, and I feel bad. I can't think of the name right now. Only acting. It's just such it was a surprise. Truly, like I had a physical reaction when I was driving here. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it gets fucked up.
Yeah, it was great. And again, everything else that I heard from it was good. I enjoyed it. I need to finish it because I know there is more to enjoy with this project. And I saw a lot of artistry. I saw a lot of talent. I was not familiar with the Caro Bonito game, you could say. So I need to study up. I need to freshen up, and I need to grow my palate in that way.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily something that you have to like actively listen to get
enjoy
into.
It. Yeah. It was a really nice background, like again, passive listen. So I'll probably be listening on my car ride home. Right. It's weird. I have to drive a car after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just go roll over and say hi to your big guys.
Yeah. You got to go back home to them. They're waiting. They're waiting for you, Kyle.
They've gotten the metal warm at least.
Yeah, true. You're not going to have to worry about, like, being cold under the covers because they're keeping it warm for you. How are you
They're
gonna
also
reward
probably
them?
jizzing in each other's asses.
Yeah.
And
with that, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to this episode. Our first episode in person.
that was clean.
That was clean.
Do some.
That was not.
Yeah.
That was not.
All right, get some. There we go. See, there's a common denominator here.
Yep, Cameron gives the best daps.
Yep.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our first episode in person. Again, we had another wonderful caller into the episode this week. If you would like to call in, go ahead to memo.fm/Bisportuals. That's memo.fm/BISPORTUALS. Memo.fm/Bisportuals. We want to hear what you have to say, whatever it may be. Just let us know that you listen to the podcast. We love hearing from our viewers. And with that, if you're listening to this on release, I hope you have a wonderful Friday. If you're listening to it during the weekend, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're listening to it during the week, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to listen to us talk about sports. And with that, we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.